Israel, including in the country's second largest city of Tel Aviv. 60 days into this conflict, Hamas and Islamic Jihad have maintained their abilities to fire on major population centers.
And the Wall Street Journal reports Israel is considering flooding tunnels to root Hamas out from underground in Gaza. Next hour at the House, the presidents of Harvard and Penn and MIT will testify at a hearing into anti-Semitism on college campuses amid big pro-Palestinian protests. The FBI director will testify at the Senate next hour. Christopher Wray plans to urge Congress to reauthorize a key provision of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. Wray will tell senators that Iran and other foreign adversaries are more brazen in their threats, and stripping the FBI of this tool would be disarmament. Meanwhile, a House Republican probe of the FBI concludes
the Bureau's targeting of Catholic Americans went further than we actually knew. It says the FBI interviewed a priest and a church choir director before issuing that internal memo, which called Catholics potential domestic terrorists.
But Fox's Brooke Singman also reports that probe went nowhere.
The FBI tells me that an internal review conducted by the FBI found no malicious intent to target Catholics or members of any other religious faith.
A vacation nightmare in the Bahamas. A 44-year-old woman from Boston attacked by a shark.
Police say she and a man were paddleboarding in the waters off New Providence Island at the time. A rescue boat came to their aid. The man was unharmed, but it was too late for the woman. She suffered lacerations to the right side of her body and was declared dead at the scene.
That's Tom Graham. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
2 fatal crashes. It's 38 and cloudy downtown. Some light rain on radar. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:02. First in Fishers, a crash involving a semi happened on northbound I-69 near 106th early this morning. That impacted traffic for several hours. Then later on in the morning near Raymond and Harding on the southwest side, a person on a bike was hit and killed. The driver who hit that person stayed at the scene to talk with police. Neighbors who live near where a man was shot and killed at a house party in Bloomington on Sunday say that the house in question has a history.
The person that had the party, they've had parties all year long. This isn't the first time cops have been called.
Pratul Raja on Wish TV. He says he lives with his roommates 2 doors down. Isaiah Ramos has been arrested. He's said to have opened fire on the party after being denied entry because he had a gun. He's charged with murder since another man at the party was killed. A man has been arrested for a shooting at a Broad Ripple pub. Donnie Burgess reports.
It was 1 o'clock on the morning of November 28th. A pub bouncer was just grazed by a bullet, a hole left in the door. A man was asked to leave the pub because he had a gun, and guns are a no-no at this particular pub. That man was Drayon Savage, 22, who had apparently visited the pub the day before. He was arrested Monday and faces a charge of aggravated battery and criminal recklessness. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The University of Notre Dame has picked its next president.
During the coming months, I will be especially focused on listening and learning as I prepare to assume my new responsibilities in July.
That's Father Robert Dowd. He was voted on and approved by the school's Board of Trustees to be the next president in a meeting on Monday. Dowd will succeed Father John Jenkins, who is stepping down in July of 2024. They're moving on.
Field will dribble out the clock, and the Pacers are headed for Las Vegas.
Mark Boyle on the Elevance Health Radio Network as the Indiana Pacers beat the Boston Celtics 122-112 last night. They're on to the semifinals in the NBA in-season tournament. Traffic on the 5s, Matt Baer.
All right, Kurt. Harding Street still closed between Troy Avenue and Raymond Street because of the fatal crash involving a bicyclist from earlier this morning. Southbound 65 at the Dogleg, that crash is cleared. Still slow back to Whitestown Parkway. Crash clear northbound before 65 before 70 on the east side. Still a little bit slow back to Brookville Road. That delay continues and gets heavier from 70 up to Penn Pike. Inbound 65 slows from the White River to 21st Street. This is a crash at 38 at Moeller Road. Another one, State Avenue at Southeastern on the southeast side. Traffic sponsored by Lowe's. Save big every day during Lowe's 25 days of deals. Shop daily deals for the whole home. Lowe's 25 days of deals. I'm Matt Baer with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Have you saved enough? Do you have a plan for Social Security and taxes in retirement? Hey, Casey Weed of Howard Bailey Financial, where our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life. life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we want to give you our Retire with Purpose Toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you can't outlive. Plus, you'll receive a copy of my book, Job Optional. To get your complimentary toolkit, call or text the keyword INFO 42 to 866-482-9559. That's INFO 42 to 866-482-9559.
Howard Bailey Financial is the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Pierce Jewelers is Carmel's full-service jewelry store where all watch repair, jewelry repair, appraisals, or custom design is done in-house. See them at piercejewelers.com.
WIBC News Time 9:06. Now the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Scattered rain and snow showers here this morning. No accumulation expected, then just spotty rain for the afternoon. Today's high 40. Mostly cloudy tonight, a low of 33. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
Some light showers on radar, 38 and cloudy on Monument Circle. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, December 5th. It is 7 minutes after 9 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. As we begin the program today, let me wish you a happy repeal day. It is the 90th anniversary of the end of Prohibition. And we also have Kevin back. So we're back to normal. Rob, aren't you so excited?
Oh, my goodness. If I had any more excitement, I would literally burst at the seams, Casey.
All right, let's talk about the House Oversight and Accountability Chairperson, James Comer. Yesterday, he released subpoenaed bank records showing that Hunter Biden used a business entity to make monthly payments to Daddy, Joe Biden.
Oh, so you mean more proof that Hunter Biden and Joe Biden were totally in cahoots together in terms of Hunter's illicit business dealings?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
And so it's Groundhog Day, Casey, because here we are again with high-ranking government officials, in this case James Comer, usually him, showing more proof that Joe Biden was getting very highly questionable payments, that Joe Biden appears to be joined at the hip with his son. And yet, Casey, once again, just like Groundhog Day, nothing ever happens because of it.
Right. It's just James Comer coming out saying, hey, we found more stuff. Hunter Biden currently under investigation by the Department of Justice for using this Owasco PC corporate account for tax evasion and other crimes. The Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, says that House Republicans will continue to follow the facts wherever they lead.
I am aware that Hunter Biden is a skeezy criminal. I'm aware that Joe Biden was in business with Hunter Biden. I'm aware that Joe Biden had a very likely elaborate pay-for-play scheme that benefited not only himself, but many, many members of his family. I don't need any more information, Casey. I know what happened, as does anybody with a firing synapse in their brain. What I need James Comer and the Republicans to do is something about it.
Okay, so the House Oversight Committee has identified more than 20 different shell companies, and they've uncovered how the Bidens and their associates raked in over $24 million. This happened between 2015 and 2019, and they were selling Joe Biden as the brand. And here we have the chairman, James Comer, saying that he has uncovered direct monthly payments to Joe Biden from Hunter Biden's business entity.
Today, the House Oversight Committee is releasing subpoenaed bank records that show Hunter Biden's business entity, Owasco PC, made direct monthly payments to Joe Biden. This wasn't a payment from Hunter Biden's personal account, but an account for his corporation that received payments from China and other shady corners of the world. At this moment, Hunter Biden is under an investigation by the Department of Justice for using Owasco PC for tax evasion and other serious crimes. And based on whistleblower testimony, we know the Justice Department made a concerted effort to prevent investigators from asking questions about Joe Biden. I wonder why. The more we learn, it appears the Justice Department was trying to cover up for the Biden.
Okay.
But not only do they not do anything about it, they keep funding all of Joe Biden's top priorities through each of these spending bills that they pass. So I don't want to hear any more, Casey, about how angry the Republicans are at Joe Biden, or what a skeezy con man Hunter Biden is, or what a just a basically mafia figure Joe Biden is. I don't want to hear it anymore, because not only do you not do anything about the thing that you've had proof of since the day you took control of the government in January of this year, you keep rewarding him. You keep giving him money for all of his big government projects and propositions. So I don't want to hear any more about it. If you're going to do something about it, then you'll have my attention. Until then, it's just people. They're literally using it. They're keeping it going for as long as they can because they're using it as a campaign issue.
Isn't it interesting how quickly they moved on George Santos?
Yeah, boy, that's wild, isn't it?
And this stuff with Joe Biden and Hunter Biden just keeps dragging on. But Joe Biden maintains that he, did nothing wrong. But let's do a little flashback, shall we? Let's go back all the way to October of 2020. Mm-hmm. And here's Joe Biden saying there's no controversy about his son.
Okay, Mr. Biden, if I can.
Sure.
Questions or controversy can you say about Hunter Biden, your son's?
There is no controversy about my son. It's all a lie. It's a flat lie because the president has nothing else to run on. If you notice, while American people are talking about what's happening to their families, he has no plan. In the debate, he has no plan. Everything from the Wall Street Journal, every other major news outlet has said what he's saying is simply not true about my son.
Okay.
Seems like it was true.
But wait, Rob.
Oh.
There's more. Oh. Remember these?
How many times have you ever spoken to your son about his overseas business dealings?
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings. I have never discussed with my son or my brother or anyone else anything having to do with their businesses, period. And what I will do is the same thing we did in our administration. There will be an absolute wall between personal and private and the government.
Do you stand by your statement that you did not discuss any of your son's overseas business dealings?
Yes, I stand by that statement.
Yeah, he's standing by that statement still. So direct payments from Hunter, from the shady business dealings with China, it's all good. That's all in the up and up. Nothing to see here, people. Move along.
But is it really that much different than what's happening throughout this country? So you take places like California, where you have people blatantly bursting into, whether it's convenience stores or drug stores or shopping places at various shopping opportunities, and they will just take $800 worth of stuff
with their trash bags, loading it in.
Right.
Yeah.
And nothing happens to those people because the prosecutors have said, unless it's whatever the dollar amount is, $900 or whatever, we're not prosecuting it. Is this really that much different than that? Why do those people do it? Because they don't fear repercussion. Why do people shoot each other in Indianapolis? Because there's a good chance they're going to get away with it. And if by some chance they get caught, there's a decent chance they might beat it at trial. And even if they don't beat it at trial, there's a decent chance they'll be back on the street sooner rather than later. When people don't fear repercussion, they do the thing. Joe Biden and his family are so brazen about it because there's never been any ramification for it, and they don't believe there ever will be any ramification for it.
So one thing that is changing within the Biden administration is they are dropping the term Bidenomics in speeches and online as the 24 presidential election closes in. They're saying that people just aren't buying it. They've decided to stick with people over politics. That's the new catchphrase, people over politics.
They stole that from me, Casey.
Rather than Bidenomics.
Nah, I'm going to call bullcrap on this because they stole that from me because I was going to use that if I was ever hit in the head by a large anvil or suffered from some serious amnesia of some sort and was convinced to run for public office again, I was going to use people over politics. So I'm calling that right now, and I'm getting royalties on whatever T-shirts or flags or whatever else, the yard signs they sell on that, because I had already claimed that one.
I think it's finally sinking in that there's a negative connotation with Bidenomics. They were very proud of it, but according to a Fox News poll, 78% of voters rate the economy negatively. Majority feel that it's worse, and only 29% of voters approve of Biden's handling of the issue. So Bidenomics is a big stinker.
All right, let's Kev. You just moved, right? You have now moved into a new palatial estate. Is that correct?
Yeah.
How much are you? Look, yeah. I've never seen somebody be less excited about having a new place. This dude is 28 years old. He's single. He's a musician. He works in radio and he has his own place. And I've never seen a guy less enthusiastic.
He's tired.
I mean, women should literally, you should be considering the prospects of women just throwing their underwear in your direction with all of those things you have going for you. And that's the level of excitement I get on, Kev, you have a new place, right? Yeah. I think the point part of it is, though, right, you are now going through Bidenomics, which you now have to, you've got to pay rent, you've got electric bills, you've got grocery bills. Like, you are feeling Bidenomics. You got to make the first and last month's rent payment. You are feeling Bidenomics in real time.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, hey, well, thanks,
what else
Kev.
do you want from me? You want me to cry on the air?
No, but I do want you to laugh at this. This happened at the Kennedy Center Honors. Here's Joe Biden getting funky. He was stumbling his way through remarks. He's honoring Barry Gibb of the Bee Gees.
Barry Gibb, this is key, right?
Barry Gibb is his name.
The only living Bee Gee left is Barry. Okay, we're all in agreement on that.
All right,
there's one Bee Gee left.
Yes.
It's Barry Gibb, and that's the one being honored.
Yep,
okay.
And see if you notice what your president says.
And while I know when you think of the Bee Gees, it's an infectious beat that you hear in your own mind, but I think it's universal. It's simple human truths that their lyrics contain. So often capture and grip our hearts. Lyrics like, there's a certain kind of light that never shone on me from those hopelessly in love. Or, I've kicked around since I was born about the Bay Bridge 19-year-old struck by a dead-end job was trying to stay alive. The list goes on.
Staying alive.
The brothers Bound made it all seem effortless and almost magical. They described it as, quote, we'll be walking down the street together and we'll simultaneously begin to sing the same song in the same key. God love you, Billy. I tell you, that's incredible.
God love you, Billy.
Okay, so
his name is Barry.
Yeah, and so let's review the Bee Gees brothers' names. It was Barry, who's being honored, Robin, and Maurice. There was no William Gibb.
No.
There was no Billy Gibb.
Nope.
There was Barry, Robin, and Maurice. And I also love, as though he is quoting Bee Gee lyrics, which are some of the most nonsensical, stupid bull you know what you've ever heard, as though it was some, deep meaning Bob Dylan or Jackson Brown song.
Staying Alive.
Which is only known because it's Travolta, right? It is Travolta walking down the street. This guy is just so Billy. Bill, you remember the Billy Gibb?
He's thinking Billy Preston. Wrong band. That was the Beatles. Only Joe Biden could make Staying Alive seem like the most boring thing ever. Sleepy Joe. 18 after 9. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel.
The National Toy Hall of Fame has announced its new class. Baseball cards, Cabbage Patch Kids, Fisher-Price Corn Popper, that little thing you push, and Nerf.
Nerf?
Nerf made it in.
I think I'm good with the list. Literally, I think a stick is in the National Toy Hall of Fame.
It is.
Who didn't make it?
Slime. It's a staple of Nickelodeon.
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
If you need to sell your home during the holidays, quick, fast, and guaranteed is what you want. Make selling your home easy without sacrificing profit by calling Mark Dietel. Perhaps you're worried about settling for less money with a low-ball instant offer. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Matt in Shelbyville had to say about working with Mark Dietel. It was time for me to sell the last of my investment properties and use the money elsewhere. There is one guy I trust to get it done, and it's Mark Dietel. I have sold many houses with Mark, and this time was no different than the others. Mark got the job done as expected for the price I needed. Call for all the details. Call the agent I trust and recommend and the agent who guarantees your home sold, or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel, 317-755-4232, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark, DIETEL.com. Again, that's Mark Dietel, 317-755-4232, or markdietel.com. Tell him Rob sent you.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-593-4411. 800-593-4411. 800-593-4411.
The always ready for breakfast deal.
Going to bed already? Yep. Breakfast at Mickey D's tomorrow. So, sooner I go to bed, sooner it'll be morning. Sooner I'll be at Mickey D's. This is actually brilliant. You can come too. Turn out that light.
Good mornings become great mornings when you have McDonald's breakfast. Now grab a sausage McMuffin, sausage biscuit, or hash browns and get another for $1. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Valid for product of equal or lesser value.
The next generation of streaming is here. Introducing Spectrum One Stream. Get 300 megabit internet for $49.99 a month, including advanced Wi-Fi, and one unlimited mobile line free for 12 months. And when you add Spectrum TV, get a Xumo Stream Box free for 12 months. Spectrum One Stream. It's streaming simplified. Visit spectrum.com for details. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Immerse yourself in premium nationwide coverage, contract-free plans, and always free activation with Consumer Cellular, now at your local Target. While you're there, check out our newest phone, the Iris Flip. It's all the phone and camera you need, plus it features a user-friendly design, making it the perfect flip phone. From now to December 16th, you can score $10 off when you buy the Consumer Cellular Iris Flip at Target, making it only $39.99. Visit your nearest Target for the full scoop.
Emmer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
It's the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
This president has been so zeroed in, so laser focused.
If you hold near and dear to you that you like to be able to... Anyway. We're going to get a lot done.
Okay, so we spent the break doing a deep dive on the lyrics of Staying Alive.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Biden now looks even more ridiculous than he did
when he called Barry Gibb Billy.
Yes.
God love you, Billy.
So if you missed the last segment, Joe Biden was at some event yesterday honoring Barry Gibb.
It was the Kennedy Center Honors.
Okay, very good. Thank you. It was the last, who is the last remaining BG.
Mm-hmm.
It was Maurice, Robin, and Barry Gibb. There was no William or Bill or anyone who... Wasn't there there was an Andy Gibb who was
he was solo.
Yeah, but he was a cousin, I think.
No, he was the little brother.
That's right. Okay, thank you. But still, again, not only was not in the Bee Gees,
right.
He was also not named Billy nor anything that resembles Billy.
Right.
And Biden, in the lead up to calling Barry Billy, is that as good as Velvet? I mean, it's not quite as good as Velvet because I know Hammer's in the middle of the Biden madness thing, but that. So he's reciting lyrics to Stayin' Alive as though it is some deep, poetic, heartfelt thing that is supposed to just be, move you in some gut-wrenching
song for the
fashion.
ages.
It's about a
disco song.
It's a disco song. And it's obviously was the focal point of the movie Stayin' Alive with John Travolta.
Right.
Which the memory of Stayin' Alive is not John Travolta's acting, just like every other movie John Travolta's ever been in. It's him in the disco suit walking down the street.
Saturday Night Fever. Yes, exactly. The best thing to come out of Stayin' Alive is that people now use it to keep beat when they give someone
CPR.
Chest compressions and CPR.
Okay, so I'd like to read you, and I can do this more coherently than Biden.
Okay.
Some of the actual lyrics to Stayin' Alive, and you tell me if this is something that, you would hear this, and if you didn't know what it was from, you would just fall off your chair and go, oh my gosh, that poor person. What a traumatic life that guy is living. Are you ready, Casey?
Yeah.
Kev, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Well, now, I get low and I get high.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can't get either, I really try. Got the wings of heaven on my shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a dancing man. And I just can't lose.
Yes.
It's all right. It's okay. I'll live to see another day.
Yeah.
We can try to understand the New York Times effect on man.
Whether you're a mother, whether you're a lover.
Yeah, I can see why.
Staying alive.
I can see why he's inspired by that.
I mean, my goodness. You just want to take an ice pick and jam it right into your heart when you hear that. I mean, good gosh, Casey.
Good thing they're being honored at the
Billy.
Kennedy Center Honors. You know what? One other thing that I heard about that, Dionne Warwick was also honored there, and she wore slippers.
Oh.
She posed in slippers
How
in
exciting.
all of the pictures.
Now, what is the standard to get a Kennedy award? Obviously, many famous people have received it. Is it just they pick whoever? Is there some standard? Is it like the Hall of Fame for like Rock and Roll Hall of Fame where the 25 years after your debut album, or is it just this person is old and has done a lot? Here, congratulations.
They're given to those in the performing arts for their lifetime of contributions to American culture.
So like you and I might be able to eventually get a Kennedy Award.
Sure, as we represent the very best of America's creative culture and esteem an artist's body of work and influence.
When you talk about representing the best of American culture, you know who represents the best of American news?
Kurt Darling.
Absolutely, and he's next with the news.
It's Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
When it comes to illegal immigration, there's only one true conservative running for U.S. Senate this year. That's Trump-endorsed Jim Banks. Jim Banks has a plan, and it's simple. If you're caught in this country illegally, you're sent back to where you came from. Got that? No? Okay, well, let me repeat it. When Jim Banks is the senator, his policy on illegal immigration will be as follows. If you're in the country illegally, you're going back to where you came from. Mi casa is no longer tu casa, my friends. Jim Banks, Navy veteran, Trump endorsed. A simple plan for dealing with illegal immigration. Jim Banks for U.S. Senate. American Leadership PAC is responsible for the content of this message. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.americanleadershippac.org.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I have terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
We're in your neighborhood. Visit goodfeet.com to find the location nearest to you.
Inspired by family traditions and peaceful harmony. Inspired by the reason for the season, our Savior's birth and his gift of grace. Inspired by joyfully serving you as we do Christ in our Franciscan tradition. This Christmas season, we invite you to join us in our prayer for peace. Merry Christmas from all of us at Franciscan Health.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Urging more help. It's cloudy and 39, still some showers on radar, even some snow to the north. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:30. It's up to Congress to approve more funding for Ukraine in its war with Russia. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan today warned resources for Ukraine will soon dry up if Congress doesn't take any action over the next few weeks. The White House wants a $106 billion package that includes aid for both Ukraine and Israel. Congress will be holding a hearing today to discuss what some lawmakers say is a growing problem of anti-Semitism, especially on college campuses.
The chair of today's hearing is the Republican Congresswoman Virginia Foxx, and she says in a statement, over the past several weeks, we've seen countless examples of anti-Semitic demonstrators on college campuses. Meanwhile, college administrators have largely stood by, allowing horrific rhetoric to fester and grow.
Fox's Peter Ducey reporting. The trailer for a highly anticipated video game is out.
The only way we're going to get through this is by sticking together, being a team. Trust?
Trust.
Grand Theft Auto 6. It's expected to be released by Rockstar Games, coming out in 2025. Now your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. Another bad start to the day. The Dow was down 140 to 36,128. The Nasdaq down 91.5 to 15,777. And the S&P 500 is off 20 to 4,556. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
At Absolute Wealth Management, LLC, we understand that your retirement and taxes are inseparable. And if you're over 50, we're offering a special deal to kickstart your financial journey in 2024. You can have your 2023 tax return prepared and filed, including Schedules A, B, and D, for just $79.95. This can be the start of a lifelong profitable partnership with Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. All our retirement planning clients will continue to receive the substantial discount for tax filing and preparation as part of our ongoing retirement marathon that focuses on protecting everything you've worked so hard to build while still providing growth to help elevate your lifestyle in retirement. Take absolute control of your retirement. Call us now at 317-288-0634, 317-288-0634, or visit AbsoluteWealthManagementLLC.com. Investment advisory services offered through Gradient Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Gradient Advisors, LLC, and its advisors do not render tax, legal, or accounting advice.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
We'll drive that dusty road from Monroe.
93 WIBC, it is the Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. Let's go to the WIBC hotline, joined now by the conservative voice of the state of Indiana, Pastor Micah Beckwith. All right, Beckwith, Casey and I have this conversation quite a bit, and we're talking about why Ron DeSantis isn't doing better. And I maintain that there's a couple reasons, but I think one of the biggest is the idea of what it means to be a Republican doesn't mean anything anymore because the Republicans don't behave like their party platform says they're supposed to behave. So you have no idea to judge who's doing well as a Republican or who's the better Republican. What say you?
Yeah, well, I think that's a great observation. We have an identity crisis in the Republican Party. What do we believe? What do we stand on? I mean, we saw this in some of these races, just the municipality elections a few weeks ago. We had a Republican running for mayor in Indianapolis who was saying that he was essentially going to usurp the Second Amendment. And then we had a Republican running for mayor in Carmel who was supporting LGBTQ Pride Fest with drag shows for kids in it. And so and nobody called them out. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say nobody. I didn't hear too many of the party leaders calling them out. There was a lot of grassroots people that were calling them out, but but where was the party leadership? Where were the county chairs? Where were the people in office saying, hey, this isn't who we are as Republicans? I think that's the problem I see with the Republican Party. We don't really know what we believe anymore.
Yeah, and I think when you look at it at a state level, like what is the Indiana Republican Party for? They are the party now of higher taxes. They are the party of bigger government. They are the party of the largest budgets in state history. And it seems to me now it is more about just simply electing someone with an R next to their name from the Republican Party perspective, rather than this person has these principles.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying this for a long time. What would happen if AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, were to move to Indiana, and she realized very quickly, well, I can't win any office unless I'm a Republican. I'm just gonna switch and become a Republican. I'm gonna vote in 2 primaries. I'm still gonna believe everything I believe now. What would happen? I mean, we'd have to essentially let her into the Republican Party, and she's an outspoken socialist. So, if we don't stand for something, we're going to fall for anything. I love that statement. It's so true. And we have to do a good job of being better gatekeepers. And I know there's this mindset in the Republican Party, especially in Indiana right now. We want to be inclusive. We want to be inclusive, right? We want to be a big tent party. And I love including people, but not at the sake of abandoning our principles. It's the same thing like open borders. See, the Republican Party has kind of done the Biden open border concept, but on a smaller level. They said, hey, anyone's welcome. Just come. And yet we don't say, hey, you can come, but you need to assimilate to the values that made us great to begin with. And so this is the same thing that's happening on a national level. It's happening on a smaller microcosm within the party itself.
Micah Beckwith joins us, the conservative voice of Indiana, and there's no way AOC would be part of the Republican Party in Indiana because she hasn't voted Republican in 2 consecutive elections. But I maintain that the Republican Party right now, Micah, is to say that you're in the Republican Party, say all the things that the Republican Party stands for, but nobody does it.
Well, I mean, that's true, too. But I would add to that, Casey. They don't know the Republican Party platform and the principles that we are rooted in. If you don't know the principles, I mean, listen, I'm a pastor at a church. If someone wants to follow Jesus, they need to know the principles that Jesus preached, right? And so we teach those principles on a regular basis. I don't remember the last time I've been at a Republican function where someone pulled out the party platform and said, hey, let's go through what we actually believe as Republicans, and let's ask questions about these principles. Let's make sure we're in alignment with these principles. And I mean, I would be hard pressed to find anyone on the Republican leadership level that's saying, "Here's the party platform, everyone. This is what we believe. Now, go out there and win the day." So,
and this is why they hate us so much, because they get mad at us for saying you're not doing the thing you promised to do in your party platform, and somehow we end up being the bad guys on the radio because we point out you're not doing the things you pledged to the people to do.
Right, and so I would have more respect for people who just said, hey, we're going to change the platform to make it look a lot more watered down or a lot more left-leaning, and at least adhere to the party platform. It's the same thing, the Lord says in Scripture. He says, I'd rather you be hot or cold rather than lukewarm, because if you're lukewarm, I'm going to spit you out of my mouth, is what he says. And what he's saying, I have more respect for those who are totally against me than those who fake it. He's like, yeah, they're totally against me and they're gonna lose at the end of the day, but at least they're being honest, right? At least they're being honest with what they believe. And I think I find myself getting really frustrated when I see a lot of fake Republicans, and it's the age-old principle of just the hypocrisy, right?
Our theory is, or my theory is, and Casey gets lumped in with me, unfortunately, for everything, is that in many cases, you got to let this thing die, because the Republicans, you talk about that big tent, they take you, Micah, they take me, they take Casey for granted. And that is, no matter what we do, no matter what garbage we shove down your throat, you will vote for us no matter what. So we don't have to appeal to you. And so as such, then they start just looking for, it's a numbers game, right? It's about selling hamburgers, but instead of hamburgers for someone like Anne Hathaway, who's the state party chair, she just cares about an R next to the person's name. It's not whether it's a good hamburger. It's not whether it's an edible hamburger. As long as somebody bought the hamburger, in this case, it's somebody with an R next to their name, she views that as a success. And I think Kyle Hupfer was the exact same way before her.
Well, I don't think it's just an thing. I think I see that all around the state with just Republicans in general. We got to win, right? I hear that all the time. It's win, 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 win. And again, it's not just Indiana. I think it's a national thing. We got to win, win, win. Why? I can't support Donald Trump this time around because I just don't think he can win in the general. Okay, well, that's not what I asked you. I said, do you believe in what Donald Trump stands for or not? Like that, like regardless of winning. Let's go to the principles first, and we cannot abandon principles. I would rather lose and keep my principles than to sell out my grandmother to the highest bidder and win. Like that's just me. Maybe I'm old fashioned. Maybe that's maybe that's an old dog kind of mentality, but that's who I am. And so I think we have to, as Republicans, we can very much win, and I want to win too. And let's be very strategic in how we message. But let's not forget our principles. Let's not abandon our principles, because that will ultimately cause us to lose if we abandon our principles. Because Democrats are just going to vote for the furthest left. They're not going to say, "Oh, well, you're a watered down Republican. You kind of look like a Democrat. I'm gonna vote for you over the real deal." No, they're going to go with the real deal every time.
What's going on? There's some big shindig happening that you want to talk about?
Well, yeah. You called in. You're like, "What are we talking about today?" Well, here's something going on tonight.
It's funny because your wife is like uber paranoid about her segment on Fridays, and 3 weeks ahead of time she wants to have everything laid out. And I told her, I said, "That is not how we work here. We will place the phone call. We will determine what we're talking about. We will say go, and we will go on the radio and talk about that." And then
half the time she prepares and we derail it anyway.
Absolutely, yes.
I hear about it. Trust me, it's like they didn't talk about anything that I've been prepping for the last 3 weeks.
Oh, poor Susan.
I don't even know what we're talking about until he says, "All right, here we go."
All right, what's happening?
Yeah, we have the Right to Life Gala tonight in Carmel at the Ritz-Charles. It's going to be a great event. It's always a good event every year, and I think some people think that the Right to Life battle is over, and really, when Roe got overturned, that was really just kind of the beginning of the battle. We've got to love women, and we have to love the babies that they carry, all in the same vein. And so that's really the Right to Life has really kind of pivoted and said, okay, we're able to protect children. And in Indiana, we have we were able to outlaw abortion very early on, and so as far as an abortion ban goes, it's pretty much an abortion ban, and we've seen abortions go drastically down, but that doesn't necessarily solve all the problems. So the Right to Life has pivoting, and we have this slogan here in Indiana: love them both, right? The mother and the child, and that's a great Christ-like mantra. And so we need to pour into that. And so if you're looking for places to give this Christmas season, looking to support good organizations, definitely check out the Right to Life, because if you don't have the right to life, you'll never have the right to liberty, and you'll never have the right to pursue happiness. It starts with life. Our founders knew that, and that was God's plan, and we've got to stand strong on that.
Michael will be with us at Radiothon for a segment, Casey. I'm prepared to give him the $200 that I raised for Project Rescue from the I Hate and I Love Rob Kendall T-shirts for the past couple months.
Fantastic.
And no, that's just, I get like 1% of every shirt sold, so luckily we've sold 10 million shirts, which is equated to $200. I'm really hoping that Micah actually opens up his jacket pocket, and I can actually put the money in the jacket pocket at Radiothon.
You never know. He might open up his jacket and a bunch more money might fall out.
There you go.
Hey, I have a question. How many of those were I Hate Rob Kendall shirts as opposed to I Love Rob Kendall? I want to see the breakdown, because I want to know if I should be your friend or not.
Well, I was very disappointed in how many people bought the I Love Rob Kendall T-shirts. You can get those at store.hammerandnigel.com, and every, quarter or whatever they give me money, I'll just pass it along to Project Rescue, which fights human trafficking all across the world. Micah, you're the best. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, guys. Keep it up.
Yep, it's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, who profited off of Hamas's attack on Israel? That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, savvy, staying ahead of the market at every turn, finding ways to do more with less, and taking advantage of every opportunity that comes their way. That's why Comcast Business is introducing the Small Business Bonus. For a limited time, you can get a $1,000 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle when you switch to Comcast Business, the company with the largest, fastest, reliable network. Yep, you heard that right. 1,000 back. Something extra for your company. From the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call or go online to learn about the $1,000 bonus today. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 12/5/2023. New customers with Gigabit Extra Internet, Security Edge, and One Voice Mobility Line with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply. Call or go online for details.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-593-4411. 800-593-4411. 800-593-4411.
My husband, Bob, has Parkinson's, and he needs more help now, and I need more support to help him. Thanks to Indiana Pathways for Aging, we're getting the support we need to help him right here at home, like with meal prep and basic personal care, and even respite support for me.
Pathways provides Hoosier Medicaid members, age 60 and over, support for care their way, so they can live life their way. The program begins in summer of 2024. Call 87-PATHWAY-4 or visit in.gov/pathways.
Underride wrecks can be deadly. An underride wreck occurs when a car crashes into the side or rear of a big truck and slides underneath the empty space of the tractor trailer. If you or a loved one was injured or killed in an underride wreck or any kind of big truck wreck, every second counts.
I'm attorney Daryl Isaacs. Isaacs & Isaacs is ready to get your loved one the justice they deserve.
Attorney Daryl Isaacs is Indiana's big truck lawyer.
Just click to get help quick at WeWin.com.
My name is Donita, and I cared for my mother for 8.5 years. There were times where I was like, I can't do this alone. Then I found CareForth. They gave me the resources and the confidence to care for Mom at home. They even paid me. I'm so happy I was able to care for Mom, but even more grateful I wasn't alone. When I say they're like family, I mean it.
Caring for a loved one at home? Get support and get paid by visiting careforth.com. That's careforth.com.
Hey, we're pretty social people at WIBC. You can find us all over social media. See what we're up to on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. We're never more than just away. Just search for 93 WIBC.
Good morning, 9:48. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So John Fetterman said he sent an ethically challenged Bob Menendez Cameo video from George Santos, who was expelled from Congress last week.
Okay, so we talked about this yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Santos is on Twitter or Cameo now, where they charge you pay a fee and somebody will record the message that you want them to record, and you get, hey, it's Brian's birthday, and you're, let's say Tony Danza. I don't even know if Tony Danza has a Cameo, but you could have Tony Danza. Hey, Brian, it's your 40th birthday. Thanks for being a huge fan of Who's the Boss. Did you know my favorite episode is when wild and wacky Angela accidentally walked in on me in the shower, whatever. And so Santos now, because he knows he's going down and he's yelling timber, is trying to make as much money off of his celebrity as he can while the 15 minutes are still in check, and he's not behind in a prison cell somewhere, and he's charging, it's up to like $200 now.
It is. It started at Started at $75, went up to $150, and now it's up to $200.
Who would pay that?
John Fetterman.
Okay.
Or anybody who wants to troll their liberal friends.
Okay, so Fetterman was talking on, I guess this was The View, and they were just beside themselves that he said this, that if you're going to kick Santos out, how do you not kick Menendez out when what Santos did is very serious, and he's very likely going to go to prison, maybe for a long time, over what he did related to campaign finance faux pas, which, by the way, one place to not screw around, and I don't know who needs to hear this, is with your campaign finance report, because it's all trackable if just one person in law enforcement wants to look at it. Because the bank records have to match up, and all it would take is one subpoena of your bank account to show whether it does or how the money was spent or whatever. And in the case of Santos, he spent it on a whole bunch of stuff he allegedly shouldn't have been spending it on. But the point Fetterman was making is you've got a senator in the case of Menendez that appears was on the take for a foreign government in the case of Egypt, and he's still walking around. And Santos, while what he did is very serious, it didn't, it doesn't even begin to compare with potentially a U.S. senator being on the take for a foreign government.
Well, and it's also being reported, you know how he had those 13 gold bars Menendez did in his house? That 4 of them were from an armed robbery.
Of course.
So 4 of the gold bars from an armed robbery. The plot thickens.
So Fetterman paid whatever the fee was at the moment, because it's changed a whole bunch, but whatever the fee was at the moment, he paid George Santos to record a video for Bob Menendez on Cameo.
Yep, and we have it. So let's take a listen.
Hey, Bobby. Look, I don't think I need to tell you, but these people that want to make you get in trouble and want to kick you out and make you run away, you make them put up or shut up. You stand your ground, sir, and don't get bogged down by all the haters out there. Stay strong. Merry Christmas.
He's kind of giving him encouragement, right?
Okay, so here's my question to you, because when Mock was here, we had a Cameo account together, and we used to sell them all the time. Should we start a Kendall and Casey Cameo account?
Sure.
Now, we were nowhere near $200, but we had all sorts of people do this. Would you be willing to set that up? And, the deal I had with Mock is you process it, you keep it, keep whatever you want. If every 10 months you want to throw me $5, whatever agreement we come up with.
Right.
Would you be willing to? Because
Yeah.
I don't do anything on the internet. You know this.
Well, if George Santos can have a Cameo account, we can.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. So should we do that?
Yeah, we'll set it up.
Okay, perfect.
We'll set it up just in time for Christmas.
How about that? I'm putting you totally in charge of that.
Hey, you know what is happening this week? It's tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah, it's tomorrow, the 4th Republican presidential primary debate.
There's another one?
Yeah.
What don't you know at this point?
Well, it's going to be hosted by News Nation. It's at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa, and Megyn Kelly is going to be one of the moderators.
Didn't she already moderate one? No, that's not. She's not at Fox News anymore. Who was it who was the Fox News person?
It was Dana Perino.
Dana Perino. I get those two confused.
Yeah.
I mean, they look exactly alike.
Beautiful
don't they?
blondes, yes. So this is going to be the 4th debate. It will have some pretty strict qualification requirements, and they have to have 80,000 donors and 6% support in 2 national polls, plus 6% in 1 national poll or 1 poll from an early primary.
Why didn't they do
state.
this from the beginning? Like they could have saved. Doug
Burgum's out,
right? And so is Aja or whatever his name is, Hutchinson, and Pence is Dunzo, and Tim Scott's out of there, and who were there was probably another hanger-on that I'm forgetting that was there in the beginning. But why? Like, this is not an unreasonable thing to say you should be able to poll at 6% in some poll somewhere and get 80,000 people in a country of 330 million to give you $1.
So it's being reported that Chris Christie isn't going to be on the main primary ballot. However, he did qualify for this 4th debate, the donor requirements. So now you're looking at Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Chris Christie. Of course, Donald Trump won't be there.
So it's this. Oh, I guess Tim Scott in the last one?
He was.
Okay, so he's.
And then the very next day, he said, see ya.
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got 4. Is that right?
Yeah.
Did you do that right? Is the math? Okay, so you got 4. So you'll actually be able to get some stuff in. But what don't you know at this point? What are you going to learn to go, well, I was kind of on the fence. I guess I'm a DeSantis person now.
Right.
What are you going to learn that's going to change anyone's mind? All they're doing is making more work for you, Casey, because we know I'm certainly not watching this.
Right. I'm going to have to stay up late and watch it. Well, I guess it's one last chance for Nikki Haley to, quote, surge, as she says that she's been doing.
Surge
ahead in the polls, which...
Is that what we're calling it? Surging. Being beat by 50 points, that's a surge.
Ron DeSantis asserting that she clearly is not a conservative and has produced no major achievements. So I would look for those two to battle it.
Hard to argue with that.
Yeah. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Good morning.
Round and round, what comes around goes around. I'll tell you
Rob, I have a question for you.
Yes, Casey.
What's a good rate on a CD today? Something like 5%?
Yeah, and that's the highest it's been in a long time.
Well, you know, your retirement guy, Bill Demery, could help you do way better. Instead of getting 5%, what if you could get a much better return? A return that's averaged 7% per year for the last 10 years.
That's 40% better, Casey.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
so much better. Plus, get this, you also get an immediate 13% bonus on your investment. And it's all backed by one of the largest insurers in the world.
A 13% bonus and a 7% average return. I should give Bill Demery a call.
You should. Absolutely. Call Bill Demery, 317-932-9912.
This 13% bonus won't last long.
The number, 317-932-9912. That's 317-932-9912. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, above your eyes, below your eyes, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor, you've visited urgent care over and over again, and it's always the same thing. Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and nasal sprays. But the sinus infections keep coming back. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of Indianapolis Sinus Center called balloon sinuplasty. Imagine the relief of not having to deal with your sinus infections anymore. Set an appointment today with Indianapolis Sinus Center and find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Call 317-528-9650. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650.
Liberty Mutual presents How to Be the Life of the Party.
Okay, first turn the music off. Then ask for everyone's attention. Now, tell them that you customized your home insurance with Liberty Mutual and saved hundreds. Boom! Now everyone knows you're not just a pretty face. You have some brains inside that face that know how to save hundreds on home insurance. Woo!
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. Based on recent survey of new customers who switched and saved. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
There are many ways to eat McDonald's world-famous fries. Some eat both ends of the fry first, others two at a time. And some eat them so fast, they forget how they ate them.
Download the app for offers like 20% off any order of $5 or more. Because when you tap into favorites like a Big Mac, McCrispy, or fries, you tap into delicious. Valid through 12/31/23 at participating McDonald's. Valid one time per day. Excludes tax. Must opt into rewards. Visit McD app for details.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Lowe's knows how to save pros time and money. Right now, get up to 40% off vanities. And there's more. Get up to 50% off select tools and accessories from trusted top brands like DeWalt and Craftsman. Visit us in-store or online for more deals you can't beat. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. About 11/30 through 12/6. While supplies last, selection varies by location.
Is your Generac home standby generator overdue for annual maintenance or an oil change? Schedule an inspection with a certified tech at Generator Supercenter to ensure your Generac generator is ready when you need it most. GeneratorSupercenter.com.
Your one blood donation can help save the lives of up to 3 people. Give blood through the American Red Cross to help hospital patients. Visit redcrossblood.org today.
Coming up in 2 minutes, where 2 people died in separate crashes overnight, plus how people are reacting to a fatal shooting in Bloomington from over the weekend, and a unique app gets some praise from your member of Congress. I'm Kirk Darling. That and more coming up from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios after Fox News Radio. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
It would make the U.S. less safe. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what the FBI Director, Christopher Wray, will tell senators this hour, urging them not to let a key provision of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act expire at the end of the year. He wants it reauthorized.
He's going to tell the Democrat-led Senate Judiciary Committee, quote, the agility and effectiveness of 702 will be essential to the FBI's ability and really our mandate from the American people to keep them safe for years to come.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff.
In recent years, though, 702 has earned bipartisan scrutiny. Although it's meant for foreign surveillance targets, it has also allowed federal law enforcement to comb through the communications of U.S. citizens.
Also this hour at the House, the presidents of Harvard and Penn and MIT will be at a hearing into anti-Semitism on college campuses after pro-Palestinian protests.
The chair of today's hearing is the Republican Congresswoman Virginia Fox, and she says in a statement, over the past several weeks, we've seen countless examples of anti-Semitic demonstrators on college campuses. Meanwhile, college administrators have largely stood by, allowing horrific rhetoric to fester and grow.
Fox's Peter Ducey. Israel has ramped up its attacks on Hamas in an area of southern Gaza.
A place called Khan Yunis, that's where it's believed the Hamas leadership is hiding out. Some of the heaviest Israeli airstrikes of the entire campaign are happening there now. The hitch is that area is densely populated. Israel now says itself that it has killed 15,000 in Gaza since this war began, but they include in that number 5,000 Hamas fighters.
Fox's Greg Palcott near Gaza. The Wall Street Journal reports Israel is considering using seawater to flood tunnels to flush Hamas out of the underground. The Supreme Court's getting ready right now to take up a key tax case. A Washington state couple challenging a tax on a foreign investment they say they never got income from, claiming it's unconstitutional to force them to pay a tax on just the increased value of an investment. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Crashes and death. It's 39 and cloudy downtown. Some showers to the east on radar. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:02. First, a crash near Raymond and Harding on the southwest side this morning. A person on a bike was hit and killed. The driver who hit that person, though, stayed at the scene to talk with police. Earlier in the morning, a crash involving a semi happened on northbound I-69 near 106th. That impacted traffic for several hours. There was a fatal shooting Sunday in Bloomington where several college-age people rent out homes near the IU campus.
We've actually lived on the street for like 2 years, 3 years now, and nothing like this has ever happened.
Patul Raja is one of those people. He tells Wish TV his house was hit by some of the gunfire that night, but he says that he wasn't home at the time. The shots came from Isaiah Ramos, who is now charged with murder. They say that he fired the shots after being denied entry into a house party. A man shot this morning on the east side. It was along Fall Creek Parkway North Drive. A man was shot in the head while sitting in his car. He survived, though, and is in the hospital. Police looking for 3 armed men. Northern portions of the state got some snow this morning. Further south, though, it's been pretty much just rain.
But it looks like the rain that's out there this morning is, for the most part, going to stay rain. And temperatures will be warm enough. They'll warm through the upper 30s into the low 40s by later today.
Randy Bowers with the National Weather Service. He says there is some warmer air behind this system as well, so temperatures will be warmer throughout the week. You may want the app when it comes out. Congresswoman Victoria Spartz honored a Carmel student for co-creating a special rating system. Chris Davis explains.
Anywhere in the city, I'll tell you the best public toilet.
The app is kind of like a real-life George, except you get to rate the restrooms where you do your business.
This way, when nature calls and they're not at home, they're still guaranteed to have a pleasant, convenient experience doing their business.
Jason Zhu is one of the winners of the Congressional App Challenge 2023. The award was presented by Congresswoman Victoria Spartz, who was happy to present him with the award without commenting on its contents.
Magnificent facilities.
Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Have you saved enough? Do you have a plan for Social Security and taxes in retirement? Hey, Casey Weed of Howard Bailey Financial, where our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we want to give you our Retire with Purpose Toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you can't outlive. Plus, you'll receive a copy of my book, Job Optional. To get your complimentary toolkit, call or text the keyword INFO 42 to 866-482-9559. That's INFO 42 to 866-482-9559.
Howard Bailey Financial is the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, December 5th. It is 5 minutes after 10. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Are you ready to talk about Liz Cheney?
Oh, my gosh, Casey. Do we have to do this?
We have to. She's got a new book out, so of course she's making her rounds on all of the talk shows. And she was on NBC, and she was saying all sorts of stuff that, like, Donald Trump wants to stay in power forever, and he will be a dictator for the American people.
Isn't it wild how totally obsessed she is with Donald Trump? I mean, isn't that bizarre about how, I mean, she is, I will not be ignored dance. She is boiling rabbit on the stove type of obsessed with this guy. And it really, I heard Tony use this description yesterday, and it really is true. She is a broken woman. I think that is absolutely the best description you could possibly use, and it's 100% accurate. She is a broken woman.
Okay, so she's maybe broken, but she's considering running for president next year as a third-party conservative candidate. Yeah.
Here's actually
she says it's a bipartisan ticket that would include both Republican and Democrats.
Here's actually kind of the wacky thing about Liz Cheney is if you could sort through her obsession with Trump, which I get it is very, very hard to do, but if you could sort through her actual obsession with Donald Trump, she actually has a pretty conservative voting record, like her actual record, her actual votes cast as a member of Congress. It's not all that egregious. Now, there's some things in there that are ridiculous, probably, but she's not some super lib, but she is just totally obsessed with Donald Trump.
So her memoir is called Oath and Honor, a memoir and a warning. But we're pointing out here, she just wrote a book. She's making the rounds on all the talk shows. Does she really want to run for president? Does she really want to attack Donald Trump? Or does she really just want to sell some books?
Well, so you're hitting the other part of this. And so much of Trump and the people who go at Trump is because they can get something out of it. I mean, the people who turn on him know that they're going to get either, it's a book deal or it's, it's a spot on a television station or whatever. People know they're going to get something out of going after Donald Trump. It's why Chris Christie is running for president on the platform of going after Donald Trump, because he knows whether it's, a book deal or whatever, there's going to be a little pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Okay, well, here she is talking to Samantha Guthrie, Liz Cheney, on the Today Show.
Darkest terms, we will be voting on whether to preserve our republic in the next election. You think this is a vote about whether or not we still have democracy in this country?
It certainly is, and Donald Trump has told us exactly what he will do. He will not abide by the rulings of the courts. He will certainly appoint people to office, whether or not they can be confirmed by the Senate. He has talked about using the military in terms that really are fundamentally un-American, including here in the United States. So it's a very dangerous moment, and it's a moment for people to understand that cannot be the path that we go down as a country.
Just yesterday in an interview, you said fundamentally there's a choice to be made. You can't be both for Donald Trump and for the Constitution. You have to choose.
Yeah.
A vote for Donald Trump is unconstitutional, anti-American.
Well, he won't support and uphold the Constitution. We've already seen what happened. He is the only president in American history who attempted to overturn an election, who attempted to seize power, to stay in power after he had lost. And the reason that we didn't have a much more serious crisis was because there were people around him who stopped him, because there were people around the country, state officials, for example, who stopped him, who did not yield to the pressure that he put on them to change votes from Biden to Trump. We won't have that safeguard again. And he's so dangerous. If you have a president who is unwilling to abide by the rulings of the courts, who's unwilling to uphold the Constitution, then there are no guardrails who can stop him.
All right, so let's talk about this, Casey, because what she's saying is wholly absurd. And the fact that, was that Savannah Guthrie that was interviewing her, just nods like some sort of puppet on a string or something. It tells you everything you need to know about her. Okay, so Trump is or is not still occupying the White House, Casey?
Not.
Trump did or did not leave the day he was supposed to leave?
Yeah, he did.
Trump physically enacted violence on anyone to attempt to get his way? No, he didn't. What did happen is Donald Trump objected to the election results the same way Hillary Clinton did, the same way Al Gore did in 2000. Donald Trump attempted to use the legal system exactly as Al Gore did in 2000 because he had objections to the results of the election. And as with Al Gore, the courts did not rule in his favor. Now, so much of what, and this never gets talked about, well, why didn't blah, 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 if the vote fraud was so obvious? So many of the things that were rejected against Donald Trump wasn't the merit of the case. Now, there were some that were rejected on the merit, but so many of the rejections against Trump's objections to the legal system or the results of the elections through the legal system were about standing. The courts would say so-and-so didn't have standing to take the case, which is why Sam Alito and Clarence Thomas both said, look, if we're not weighing in on, urged the court to weigh in, saying if we're not weighing in on the results of a presidential election, what are we doing here? What is our job? Let's not act like this was some fringe thing. Now, was Trump ultimately successful in any of those? No, but we act like that he ordered armed tanks to surround the White House and open fire on anyone who attempted to come in to the White House after the election. He left the day he was supposed to leave. He used the legal system as both, as other Democrats have done, including Al Gore. Nothing untoward happened here that hasn't previously happened. Donald Trump is not responsible for January 6th. Donald Trump was not at the front of the nation's capital yelling charge with the bayonet. Donald Trump held a rally, which he is allowed to do. Donald Trump told everybody to go home, in fact, and he used legal mechanisms available to him to try to change opinions or have opinions change or have results change. No honest broker is going to look at Pennsylvania and what happened there, where the court system in Pennsylvania usurped the legislature, which has never happened before, and go, oh, yeah, that was all above board. That's totally normal that the Secretary of State and governor come out and rule by fiat and totally usurp the legislature and go, yeah, that's normal. That should stand. That doesn't make you a tyrant. It doesn't make you a dictator. It doesn't make you a fearmonger. It makes you a guy going, that's crap, and those votes shouldn't have counted.
Well, Liz Cheney just wants you to know how very disappointed in you she is. It's like she likes to, like a teacher or a mother or somebody. I'm disappointed in you.
But why does she do that, Casey?
Because she lost her own election, and she's so bitter about it, she can't move on.
Exactly. The Cheneys and the Bushes are very similar in the sense they believe they're entitled to positions of power. They believe it is birthright that they are given the ability to lord over other people. And Donald Trump, with both the Bushes and the Cheneys, totally not only disrupted the apple cart, he took a giant sledgehammer and caved in the apple cart. And so, yeah, she hates him. She hates him not because of what he did to the country. She hates him because of what he did to her and her family and the ending the Trump's ability to end the dynasties that he did on multiple fronts.
I have no idea how she thinks she would win a presidential election because the Trumpers are going to stay away from her. And is she a Republican or a Democrat?
But you're Casey, you're an honest person, and so you approach things as from an intellectually honest perspective. She's not doing that. She's not doing this to win. She doesn't believe she could win. She's
doing it like Chris Christie.
Absolutely. Yeah. And she will, and it's the same reason. She will get all sorts of fawning from the national media. She will get all sorts of national attention. Mm-hmm. She will probably have some sort of cushy landing spot for her when she's done. But isn't it amazing that the media, and this tells you all you need to know about the national media, have warmed up to Liz Cheney, who 15 years ago, Bush, Rove, war for oil, Bush is a Nazi, Cheney's a Nazi, and now who's their best friend?
Mm-hmm. Liz Cheney.
Because the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and there's no morals, and there's no scruples, or there's no actual honesty coming out of these people. She can help them get Trump, and so screw all those things we said about her before, and now we love Liz Cheney.
Well, the fawning continues. Here she is talking about a re-election of Donald Trump, and she says that would lead to dictatorship.
I think it's a very, very real threat and concern. And I don't say any of that lightly. And frankly, it's painful for me as someone who, has spent her whole life in Republican politics, who grew up as a Republican, to watch what's happening to my party and to watch the extent to which Donald Trump himself has, basically determined that the only thing that matters is him, his power, his success. And that is not somebody you can entrust with the power of the presidency.
It seems crazy to ask this and even crazier to fathom it. But do you believe if Donald Trump were elected next year that he would try to stay in office beyond a second term? That he would never leave office?
There's no question.
You think he would try to stay in power forever?
Absolutely. I mean, he's already done it once. And in fact, if you look at what he did in the run-up to January 6th in terms of his pressure on the vice president not to count legitimate electoral votes, his pressure on the Department of Justice, on state officials, and then refusing to send help when the Capitol was under attack, he's already attempted to seize power.
I'm doing the thing where I'm going to start
getting mad,
twitching, and that's not good for anyone. First of all, Donald Trump was not in charge of the Capitol Police. You know who was in charge of the Capitol Police? Nancy Pelosi. She knows that. She being Liz Cheney. She was a member of Congress. She knows who's in charge of the Capitol Police.
It's very
so now she's lobbying for Donald Trump to just make it up as he goes along. And her dad literally became vice president when someone used every legal mechanism available to them, Al Gore, to try to stop her dad from becoming vice president. The same thing Trump did, but not a single solitary word about that. All right, Casey, we got to take a break.
By the way, Donald Trump did respond. He called her crazy Liz Cheney. Go ahead.
Last break, in the lead up to our top of the hour segment, we got in a rather animated discussion about a social etiquette conundrum.
Yeah.
And I'd like to do a little deep dive and see where our audience is on this when we come back.
Okay. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Tony Katz.
I alphabetized my soundboard. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. F?
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
I have to go to S for Sopranos. Makes sense.
Yeah, I think you got it.
It's so clean now. It's fantastic. Yeah, we have clearly run out of things to talk about. There's nothing else going on in the world.
It's a great world, everything's so.
This show is stupid.
Tony Katz, mornings 6 to 9 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
The holiday season is here, and your shopping begins and ends at Premier Arms in Brownsburg. 3754 South Green Street, PremierArms.com. You've got the firearms with Premier Arms, the accessories, all at fantastic prices, new and used firearms, and of course, PA Jewelers, the jewelry store inside Premier Arms with the one-of-a-kind jewelry selection, the diamonds, the gold, the silver, the gemstones, everything you want this Christmas season. Get a gift card today to Premier Arms. It is the gift that they will love this holiday season. PremierArms.com.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple of weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hey, you're up next.
My throat hurts so bad. There's no way I can sing tonight.
Here, try these.
Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Yeah, Vicks VapoCool Drops has maximum strength menthol with a rush of Vicks Vapors.
Ooh, I can already feel it.
I told you. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Vaporize sore throat pain fast with Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Life is a collection of moments that last forever, so make them matter and make them count with a symbol of everlasting love. A diamond from Pierce Jewelers. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
It's the Kendall and Casey Show.
Brian, I'm going to be honest with you. That smells like pure gasoline.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
On 93 WIBC.
21 minutes after 10 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
All right, so we had a rather spirited debate at the top of the hour break, and I want our audience to weigh in on this. So there's a meme out. Is that what it's called? Mm-hmm. A meme? It's Charlie, the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You've probably seen it. And it's him with his thumb up, and he's kind of got this wide-eyed look on his face, no smile or anything. And it says, "Hey, person I met at a concert for 30 seconds in 2009. Let's remain lifelong friends on Facebook." And so we were chuckling about how, like, for someone my age, there are so many people who you did meet at parties or concerts or at bars, and, you somehow became friends with this person.
Yep.
And really then didn't have a whole lot of interaction with them for the rest of your existence.
Yeah.
And you know me, Casey, I've met many, many interesting people over the years. I've been able to talk my way into many, many interesting conversations.
Sure.
and just learn about others. And I think we have told this story before that I met someone at a party years ago, and it turned out that this person, they did not reveal this, but through just astounding detective work on my part, it turned out this person was a member of the adult entertainment, had been a member of the adult entertainment industry.
Sure.
And so we then somehow got into a discussion off of this about this person has children, they're now married. At what point... when this person was dating the person that they would someday take for their husband, should they have been required to disclose, hey,
I did this.
I did the work.
Yeah. And I said, I think you got to go there after 2-3 dates.
And Kev, what is your theory on this?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think a couple dates, and you should probably disclose that information.
Yeah.
So I think you're being ridiculously invasive of this person because you don't even know after 2 dates if you like someone. Why should you have to disclose some deeply personal information?
Really? You don't know after 2 dates?
I mean, I was going to say you're feeling your way through it. That's probably the wrong phrase to have used with this person.
I think after one date, you should have an idea if you're interested in going further in the relationship.
Here's the problem.
And that's what date 2 and 3 is for.
Here's the problem with your theory on this, though, because I asked you directly. I said, let's say a person had done time in prison. I'm not talking like you got a DUI. I'm saying you had, and I'm not talking about some sort of violent offense, but I'm saying theft or something of that nature. Yeah. I said, at what point would you have to reveal that to the person?
Yeah.
And you did not say on date 2 or 3. So you're putting, if I did work in the adult entertainment industry, that's a bigger priority or red flag to somebody rather than I went to prison. Yeah, see? You talked yourself into a corner.
Well, I think either way, they both need to come out within the 90, 120 day mark, because at that point...
90 or 120 days is way different than a second or third date.
Well, it really depends on how frequently you're going to be dating the person.
I guess.
But at 90, 120 days, you're going to have the, what do I mean to you? What are we? Where's this going? You're going to have the talk, right?
Is that how it still works, Kev? Do you still ask somebody, where is this going? Or do you just...
they ask him.
Are you like Del Griffith? You got to just go with the flow.
Yeah, just kind of go with the flow until you talk about it.
So I don't think unless you're prepared to engage in interpersonal relations with someone that you should have to reveal something that personal about yourself, because this person had clearly moved on from that. Her job was a relatively recluse position where she was not engaging with other people. She often didn't have to see other people. She was not in the industry anymore. Right. I don't think she was necessarily proud of the work that she had done in the industry. Although Kevin was very proud of the work that she had done, because Kev did his own research on this. And so as such, I don't think you have to reveal something about yourself until you're... Now, if you were prepared to engage in that next step, absolutely. However, I don't think 2 dates in, you got to reveal something that deeply personal about yourself, including, I wouldn't think you'd have to reveal I was once arrested and spent time in prison.
2, 3 dates? You don't think that's about the
No,
time?
I don't
What
think
do you think it is? You're putting this all on me like I'm the crazy
Because
one.
you were misassertive about it. You know me. I'm a free thinker. I'm a lover, not a fighter, Casey. And I just was amazed at how
Don't try and talk your way out of
rapidly-
this. What's the time frame?
Well, my standard is if you are prepared to engage in interpersonal relations with somebody, then you should have to reveal that, because they should probably be able to know.
You need to be aware of that information.
Kurt Darling looks just totally embarrassed that he has to share a business with us.
I actually don't know what you guys are talking about.
Oh, very
I just
good. Well,
walked in here, so.
that's just your normal look when you come in to do the news and be close to us.
I mean,
very good.
You're a confusing person.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think it is up to whenever you're prepared to engage in interpersonal relations, whether it is prison or you were in the adult film industry or anything.
I like how you're associating the two.
Well, of anything of that magnitude, then that is when you should have to reveal it. Otherwise, your personal life is your personal life, and you can keep that to yourself.
Okay, well, you've got it settled.
So
then.
I would be curious to get other people's opinions on whether it is prison or the adult entertainment industry.
At what point in a relationship do you have to share that with the potential?
Do you have a lot of people on your... By the way, Mel McMahon wants to know if you even have a Facebook account. She wants to badger you about something. So I don't even know if you have a Facebook account.
I do.
Isn't that pathetic? I've worked with you for 2 years, and I don't know if you have a Facebook account. That's terrible. I've never even asked you that.
And we're well beyond our second or third date, aren't we?
Do you have people on your account who you have no idea who they are, and you're like, when did I meet this person?
Yeah, well, I've got one Facebook account that's a public profile.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, that doesn't count. Kev, do you have any of those people?
Yeah, I have a lot of those people, because when I first got Facebook, I believe I was in high school, I just started adding people that I didn't even know. And I would just...
Friends of friends?
It was like people that went to my school that I never even met. Yeah.
Wait, you were just randos? You were like, I want to know more about that person.
Yeah, I was just sending requests. Wow. They probably thought I was a creep.
That's so sad. Oh,
it's all about it's all about the friend count. That's what it was back then.
Kurt is right. The friend count that was big.
So you did it too.
I did do it. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, we were all young and dumb at one point.
So mortified for all of you people.
All right, we've got Kurt Darling next with the news on 93 WIBC.
Are your health insurance premiums making you sick? George and Megan at yourcoverage.net can help. George and Megan have helped countless individuals and families save 30 to 60% on health insurance with superior coverage. George recently saved a family of four $800 a month with the Aetna Network $0 deductible and $0 doctor office copay plan. This is not a government-sponsored health insurance plan. So if you're uninsured, recently lost your job, on COBRA, or are paying extremely high rates for Obamacare or your work coverage, George and Megan will help you if you meet the flexible guidelines for health insurance. Yourcoverage.net will provide you the best coverage at the lowest rate. Their goal is to give you peace of mind and the utmost in healthcare. Go to yourcoverage.net and see for yourself, or better yet, call George and Megan at 1-800-491-5500. That's 1-800-491-5500. Or go to yourcoverage.net. That's yourcoverage.net, a premium personalized healthcare plan managed and designed by you, not the government.
Guys, if you've noticed a lack of energy, motivation, and drive, it could be low T. Be sure to schedule your health assessment at Low T Center. They offer the convenience of physician-monitored, self-inject, at-home testosterone treatments with an average payment of just $150 a month cash pay, including labs and medication.
If you don't live near a Low T Center, or you just need the convenience of at-home treatment, Low T Center makes it easy, shipping treatments directly to you. LowTCenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Turning to unique measures. It's 40 degrees and cloudy downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:30. The Israel-Hamas war is in its 60th day now. Israeli forces are conducting their ground assault in southern Gaza as Hamas leaders are thought to be hiding there.
We are following this report from the Wall Street Journal indicating that Israel is considering flooding the tunnel network, at least of northern Gaza, with seawater from the Mediterranean Sea. They have reportedly placed 5 large pumps near the Shati camp in the northern part of Gaza, and they're waiting to see if they'll actually move forward with this plan.
Fox's Trey Yangst. This comes as the U.S. is in talks with other allies about creating a naval task force to escort commercial ships in the Red Sea after attacks by Iranian-backed rebels in Yemen. Former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney is considering a third-party presidential bid. Cheney told the Washington Post that she believes democracy is at risk, both at home and abroad, citing former President Trump's grip on the Republican Party. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Indiana Pathways for Aging helps Hoosier Medicaid members age 60 and over get support at no additional cost to live life their way.
Mom's Parkinson's is progressing, and Pathways provides in-home support so she can be with family every day.
Pathways coordinates Medicaid and Medicare services. I'm getting help with meals, personal care, and transportation.
One day, I might choose a nursing home, but today, I have options with Pathways.
The program begins in summer of 2024. Call 87-PATHWAY-4 or visit in.gov/pathways.
What's on your Christmas list this year? Is it endless soft and hot water? Pat Sullivan here. Luckily, my friends at Hope Plumbing are offering an amazing special during the holiday season. A free water softener with the purchase of a tankless water heater. Already have a water softener? No problem. Hope will give you $1,000 off a new tankless water heater. Be the most liked family member and give the gift of endless soft and hot water this holiday season. Call Hope Plumbing, 641-HOPE.
Inspired by family traditions and peaceful harmony. Inspired by the reason for the season, our Savior's birth and his gift of grace. Inspired by joyfully serving you as we do Christ in our Franciscan tradition. This Christmas season, we invite you to join us in our prayer for peace. Merry Christmas from all of us at Franciscan Health.
Emma and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present Voicemails. Brought to you by QC Kinetics for non-surgical regenerative medicine treatments at 317-559 campaign.
The phone number, 317-684-8444, 1033 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. And it is time to hear from you with your voicemails, questions, comments, smart remarks. All right, we're going to start off, Rob, with a question.
Oh.
Somebody was curious about student loan transfer.
Oh.
I would say debt forgiveness, but we all know that you can't forgive debt. You can only transfer it from one person to the other.
Correct.
But here's their question.
Hey, Rob, just in Casey, just a thought. I know that Biden's forgiven these student loans, but you think they're going to be issuing, you have to pay taxes on that now from the IRS? Just your thoughts. Bye.
Well, you should, because they're giving you money.
Mm-hmm.
You bought something, which is what you did. You bought a college education or access to a college education. And then you were then told you didn't have to pay for the thing that you bought. You were still given the thing. So it, to me, is no different than being on The Price is Right. If someone gave you a free trip to Hawaii from The Price is Right, there's a value on that, and you have to pay, or a car or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if someone gave you free money, which is what they're doing here, why wouldn't you have to pay taxes on that?
You win the prize today, Rob Kendall.
Great.
I
Thank
did
you
a
very
little
much.
research, and debt forgiveness usually must be reported on an IRS form 1099-C, which details the amount of the canceled debt. Now, keep in mind, legislation has provided for temporary tax relief only until 2025. After that, student loan forgiveness will be considered taxable unless Congress takes new action.
What do you want to bet they totally forgive that side of it too?
Yeah,
probably. Or the next president or Biden or whatever will just declare with the stroke of the pen,
right?
Oh, you don't have to pay taxes.
Well, it
on
is
this.
happening in 2025, so I guess maybe it will depend on who is in office at that point.
I think what you see, and again, we got into this a little bit yesterday, is the gutting of any sort of accountability or responsibility in our society, because our politicians recognized that the easiest pathway to electoral success is to make people believe you can just give things away.
All right, we've got another phone call.
Oh.
And this one is about Ron DeSantis. We're lamenting many times. Why has he not caught on nationally stronger?
Yeah.
And somebody wanted to comment about that.
DeSantis' biggest problem is you're the only people talking about what Trump is not doing. Nobody else is. I mean, where are they going to hear it from? The networks aren't going to say it. So it's just a thought. Have a great day. Bye.
It's interesting, the mainstream media attacking Trump in a different way. Like, you've got Liz Cheney coming out saying that he's a dictator.
Sure.
And he'll never give up power. But she's not saying what he did when he was in office during COVID, for example.
Yeah. At this point, though, okay, the general election is different because you, one, don't know who Trump will run against. It could be Biden. It could be Gavin Newsom. It could be Michelle Obama. Will there be a third person like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. who's going to shake it up even if it is Biden? So that's a little different. But inside of this Republican primary, what could change your mind at this point?
Mm-hmm.
I get that Iowa's a month away or whatever. Yeah, a month away. I don't know. Anyway, less than a month, whatever it is. We're closing in on Iowa. But what could you possibly not know at this point where you're like, I don't know. Am I for Trump? Am I not for Trump? I just don't. I think it's just wasted oxygen from people like Liz Cheney at this point, or Chris Christie, or any of these other people. If you have not closed the deal on making people dislike Trump at this point, you claiming, oh, he's never going to leave office, that is not going to move the needle one bit.
Well, and conversely, it might make a lot of people very happy, actually.
Well, sure. Right. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who would love for Trump not to leave. Yeah, I never even thought about that. She may be doing more harm to her cause than good.
Somebody else called and wanted to agree with what your mother-in-law had said, that many people voting for Trump is a vengeance vote.
Morning, Casey. Good morning, Rob. I'm actually listening to you on the radio instead of iHeart this morning, riding around in my semi. Rob, your mother-in-law is a most perceptive and intelligent woman. She pretty much encapsulated the way I feel about things. Trump is still a finger in the eye of the establishment, and I think they need about a whole fistful of them in their eyes. So that's where we're at. Good luck.
Good luck. And this guy, I think, articulates what we were talking about a couple days ago with the conversation I had with my mother-in-law, where she basically said, Trump has to win, because if Trump doesn't win, then they get away with, it's not even about Trump. It's about letting them, the establishment, the cabal, the whatever you want to call it, get away with the all of the thing. I mean, they attempted or did largely successfully negate the American people's vote in 2016. That was what the 4 years of the Trump presidency was about, was trying to negate the vote of the people who supported Donald Trump. And they went way before the stuff they're doing now with the trials and everything else. I mean, there was active from the day, in fact, even before Trump was elected, during the Trump campaign, there was active and coordinated efforts to bend the rules, to play dirty, to try to stop him. And so there's a lot of people who feel like this guy does, that this vote is not even about Donald Trump. It's about not letting them get away with that. And we got to put Trump back in there to prove a point that you can't get away with it.
Okay, so there was a new poll that came out, and it was saying that Nikki Haley is doing better. But ahead of the debate, I wanted to get to this earlier, and it's Ron DeSantis, because we're talking about Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And so right now, it's you almost got the two who we're vying. Who's second place?
Sure. Who's the first loser?
Right. If you're not first, you're last. Who's going to be the first place loser? Ron DeSantis was on Newsmax, and he was asserting that Nikki Haley is not a conservative. She's produced no major accomplishments, and this includes when she was governor of South Carolina.
They're only going to vote for somebody who's going to be a fighter, who represents their conservative principles, and that actually is going to be able to win on all these issues. And I'm the only guy running that can say that. I think what Haley has done is she's gotten a lot of support from corporate media, and she's gotten a lot of support now from Wall Street interests. But that typically is not how it resonates in Iowa. And what I would just say is she clearly is not a conservative. I think if you look at her record as South Carolina governor, people can't even identify any major achievements that she had. She actually killed a bill to protect girls and women in bathrooms and locker rooms, which we know has been a big issue. I signed legislation protecting girls and women athletes. She actually attacked me for standing up against Disney when we had the issue with the sexualization of the elementary school curriculum. I'm a father of a first grader, a kindergartner, and a preschooler. I want the kids learning the basics. You should not be telling a kindergartner that they can change their gender, yet she sided with Disney on that. Now she's bragging that she's been meeting with people like the head of BlackRock, which is the ESG mecca, as well as the head of JP Morgan, who was a big Hillary Clinton donor. And there's actually an ad being run here in Iowa that I saw that shows Nikki talking about, in her own words, how her inspiration to get into politics was not Ronald Reagan, not Margaret Thatcher, but Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Okay, so Nikki Haley right now leading Joe Biden in a hypothetical head-to-head race, but she still trails Donald Trump. And this is according to a Messenger Harris poll that was just put out today. And she would beat Biden by 4 points if you were to hold that election today.
But I will ask this question. What do the American people actually win if Nikki Haley is the president? Like what I mean, and again, she's not going to be the president. She's not going to be the Republican nominee for president. And the fact that DeSantis is spending this much time on Nikki
talking
Haley,
about her,
it's a major problem for him, because it should be, everything should be focused on Trump and trying to separate himself from Trump. But the fact that he can't even separate himself from her, Trump is just, I mean, it's going to be Trump.
Well, that's because that's going to be his major opponent, I believe, in the debate. In 24 hours. So that's why he's taking shots at her.
A big part of the problem is, like, if you think about it like this, there's a major structural problem with the structural foundation of the house DeSantis is living in, right? So, like, there's this major issue that is above all else, which is he can't get any traction against Donald Trump. And in fact, he's gone backwards. So, like, you have this major issue, and he's worried about there's a drain over here that isn't, draining properly in the sink in the bathroom. And so he's trying to fix the drain. Well, buddy, the drain may be important, like you need the water to flow in the bathroom, but the structural problem of the house that's going to fall over is a much bigger issue. But you're spending all your time fighting about the drain, and she is the drain, and it's just none of them have any shot. I mean, it's all Trump.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC, and Hammer's going to join us next.
Coming up on the Hammer and Nigel show, even Bill Maher admits schools are indoctrinating kids to hate America. That's at 3 o'clock, 93 WIBC.
It is the Christmas season, and that means it's the perfect time to find a new church home or even a first church home. And if that is you, if you're on the lookout for a new church home or a first church home, please consider checking out my fabulous friends at Life Church. You know Life Church? That's where friend of the show, Pastor Micah Beckwith, preaches. And they have had such an amazing impact on my life, on my family's life. They would love the opportunity to meet and welcome you and your family this Sunday. Campuses in Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton, and amazing online services. Learn more about it all, lifechurchin.com. Hey, it's Rob. I started losing hair around my crown, and my hairline was starting to recede. I went to We Grow Hair Indy, and they helped grow my hair back. My friend Dave First, a sports broadcaster for over 20 years, also struggled with hair loss. Dave, what happened?
My thinning hair was bothering me. For me, I'm in the public eye. I'm a dad also, and I want to look and feel my best. And if I'm going to do something about my hair, I want to go with the best. We Grow Hair Indy. They really set the standard.
Dave, that's amazing. I had the same procedure, multi-unit hair grafting transplants, which gives you more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Call 317-522-2995 for your free hair and scalp evaluation. Find out if hair transplants or PRP is right for you.
If you're thinking about this, don't waste your time or money. Go to the experts.
Call 317-522-2995, 522-2995, or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com, the gold standard for hair restoration.
So what's a good rate on a CD today? Something like 5%? Yeah, and that's the highest it's been in a long time. Well, you know your retirement guy, Bill Demery, could help you do way better, right? Hey, it's Hammer and Nigel. Instead of getting 5%, what if you could get a much better return? Like a return that's averaged 7% per year for the past 10 years. That's 40% better. Let me say that again, 40% better.
Plus, now check this out, you also get an immediate 13% bonus on your investment. And it's all backed by one of the largest insurers in the world. A 13% bonus and a 7% average return. You should call Bill Demery right now. 317-648-5120. 13% bonus. This won't last long. 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, 648-5120. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
When it comes to illegal immigration, there's only one true conservative running for U.S. Senate this year. That's Trump-endorsed Jim Banks. Jim Banks has a plan, and it's simple. If you're caught in this country illegally, you're sent back to where you came from. Got that? No? Okay, well, let me repeat it. When Jim Banks is the senator, his policy on illegal immigration will be as follows. If you're in the country illegally, you're going back to where you came from. Mi casa is no longer tu casa, my friends. Jim Banks, Navy veteran, Trump endorsed. A simple plan for dealing with illegal immigration. Jim Banks for U.S. Senate. American Leadership PAC is responsible for the content of this message. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.americanleadershippac.org.
My name is Donita, and I cared for my mother for 8.5 years. There were times where I was like, I can't do this alone. Then I found CareForth. They gave me the resources and the confidence to care for Mom at home. They even paid me. I'm so happy I was able to care for Mom, but even more grateful I wasn't alone. When I say they're like family, I mean it.
Caring for a loved one at home? Get support and get paid by visiting careforth.com. That's careforth.com.
At EasyCater, we know ordering food for work can get complicated pretty fast.
We're going to need breakfast for the entire office on Thursday.
Janet wants really nice bagels.
Make sure some are gluten-free.
Make sure they have great coffee.
Can there also be waffles?
Janet has a hard stop at 9:30.
$15 a person
I'm going to
max.
need itemized receipts for this.
No,
Is the budget for breakfast different than what? We're just going to grab and go. Fine.
Company breakfast? Just use EasyCater. Food for work delivered on time as ordered with a huge variety. 100,000 restaurants, one platform. Order 24/7 at easycater.com.
I'd rather be folding laundry.
This is gonna be fun.
Said no one ever. Also, no one enjoys wasting time in traffic. That's why we love saving you time. Matt Baird Traffic.
Backups are already starting.
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning, 10:48 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Hammer's in the studio. Hey, happy Repeal Day. 90th anniversary of the end of Prohibition.
Yes, and in a rare turn of events, we're actually going to drink on the Hammer and Nigel show today to celebrate.
Who was that group of people that came in yesterday that I saw your photo with? The women brought you alcohol.
Oh, that was the amazing staff from St. Elmo. Working with HC Tavern on this very special festive Christmas promotion. They've got like a Whoville thing going on at HC Tavern.
How exciting.
And they were the spokespeople.
Yeah, they were here. They brought you alcohol. You appears went against your better judgment and drank it. And it just looked like you had a great old time.
My favorite part of that interview is they bring the drinks in. They're making them for us. They give them to us, which is kind enough. And then Nigel stares at them. You're leaving that bottle here, right? Like on the air, like very quiet, almost menacing. Yes, sir, we will leave it here.
My all-time favorite ridiculous Hammer and Nigel alcohol story is when one of the breweries came in and your former producer proceeded to tell them what a fan he was of their rival brewery.
Yes, the big fella that used to work with us, the professional wrestler. He didn't quite understand how things work. Bless his heart, Kyle was also the guy that got company suite tickets for the Colts and Titans game. Now, we told him, he's a big Titans fan.
Yeah.
And we told him, hey, this is where the advertisers sit.
Yeah.
This is where some of the Colts people sit. They pay a lot of money. Their advertising is on this station. Do not go in there wearing your stupid Titans gear and rub these people the wrong way.
And don't be your professional wrestling persona. Just be a normal person.
Right.
Yeah.
Just go be a dude watching a football game in a suite because it's an awesome experience.
Yeah.
So, he won the contest to go into the suite and wore all the Titans gear, the jersey, and I just tore him a new one.
Yeah.
Not because I'm a Colts fan, but that moron is affiliated with our show.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now he became ineligible to ever do that contest again.
That's right. I totally forgotten he did that. That may be worse, although that day when the brewery people were in there just throwing bottles of alcohol at you, and he proceeds to tell them how another brewery is his favorite.
Their competition.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if Coke comes in here and they're showering you with gifts, and you've got a producer. I like Pepsi.
It's like when somebody comes up, hey, yeah, it's Hammer and Nigel from WIBC. Oh, I don't listen to you guys. Cool, thanks.
That's fine. They choose not to listen. This moron went out of his way to talk about the competition.
So I'm a little envious of you. It has been a long time since there's been legitimate excitement about Indiana Pacers basketball. And I say that as like where there is this sort of diehard, we want to know what happens every game. The people are going to the games. I would say probably some of those teams with Lance Stevenson kind of had that because it was LeBron and it was the Heat.
Right.
But maybe even before that, you have to go all the way back to the Malice and the Palace team because, man, it just seems like we've kind of entered a malaise from the fan base with the Pacers, especially the past decade. But I'll tell you what, last night, that game to go to Vegas, you were there. That place was like the old days.
It was. That's exactly right. And I was talking with a lot of friends who have been going to games since, Chuck Person was playing at Market Square Arena.
Yep.
And they all said that felt like old Market Square Arena, Pacers and Knicks last night. That crowd had an edge to it last night. I mean, they're waving towels. They're singing Jack and Diane sing-alongs. You know, they're like in the fourth quarter, I looked around and like everybody's standing up. And normally when the Celtics or the Lakers come to town, teams like that, it's a lot of bandwagon fans cheering for the other team.
Yeah.
That was a loud, rowdy Pacers crowd last night, man. And
It's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
It was awesome to see that feeling of excitement back. And Tyrese Halliburton, the face of the franchise, man.
He's it, right? I mean, because you think about so much of those Pacer teams in the mid-'90s were super lovable, and, you know, they had the wacky Davis brothers and Smiths, but they had a dude. Reggie was the dude. And when you have a dude, not just because he's good, but it's like you feel like your team is always going to be competitive. When you go to the Pacer game, you know they have a dude in Tyrese Halliburton who's going to keep you in that game and is actually fun to watch. And they had that with Paul George. Paul George was the dude in the that middle part of the last decade. And then before that, you had guys like Ron Artest on that Malice in the Palace team and Jermaine O'Neal. They haven't had a dude in a long time.
Right. And MVP chants were coming from the Pacer crowd to Tyrese Halliburton, who had a triple-double last night. Pacers took the lead on a 4-point play that he had, fouled on a 3, he hit it. I would say that Tyrese Halliburton is the best Indiana Pacer since Reggie Miller.
Yeah, I don't think you're off on that.
Like, Jermaine O'Neal was really good. Paul George was really good. But if Halliburton played on the Lakers or the Celtics, he would be the front runner for the MVP award now.
And they're fun to watch. The Pacers haven't been fun to watch in a long time. And you watch those games, they're fun. The games that I guess they've had some trouble getting some of the games to the fans via the various mechanisms. But the games you can watch, that's fun.
And if they can get just a little defense, right? Because I think they're one of the top, if not the top scoring team in the NBA. If they can play just a little defense, they can make a run at this thing.
They need a goon. All those great Pacers teams had goon. David West, and I say this as a positive, right? He was a bad man.
Dale
Davis, goon. Bad man. Ron Artest, goon.
Your tough guy rebounder has not came forward yet.
Yeah.
But, man, they're fun to watch, and they're going to Vegas for this thing.
What's coming up?
This afternoon, the Final Four of Biden madness continues, and the biggest stories of the day.
Thanks, Hammer. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
With tens of thousands of satisfied patients across America, it's no surprise QC Kinetics gets 5-star reviews.
I'm feeling on top of the world because of QC Kinetics.
I'm able to do the things that I wasn't able to do for a long time.
I can recommend them highly. I would recommend QC to anybody.
QC Kinetics has changed my life.
I couldn't believe it. I honestly was skeptical, but the pain went from a 10 to a 0.
Real people with real lasting relief from joint pain.
QC Kinetics Regenerative Medicine is regenerating me.
Super successful, and I recommend everyone seek out QC Kinetics as an alternative to surgery.
This non-surgical approach is definitely the future.
I tell as many people as possible. I am an ambassador. I love QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine. No drugs, no surgery. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
This holiday season, if you're going to spend a bunch of money on a bunch of different little things that don't add up, consider this. One thing for the whole house, everybody can enjoy it. I'm talking about Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They have their chip system, which offers stylish, durable floor options in a variety of patterns and colors, and it can improve any space in your house, inside or out, that has concrete. Call them today, 317-751-9070. They'll take care of the driveway, the pool deck, the patio, the porch, whatever it is, and everybody in the house can enjoy it. Find them online, galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
Here's something for all you guys that haven't gotten your special someone a holiday gift yet. This Christmas, Pajamagram has your back with a deluxe gift set for her. A one-and-done luxurious present. This gift set includes the Smooth Seduction satin nightie and robe, plus a free satin eye mask, all wrapped in an elegant satin keepsake bag. Yeah, you heard that right. A one-and-done luxurious present, all at pajamagram.com.
That's 4 gifts delivered right to your door. Ready to go under the tree, silky, sensuous, glides over the skin, designed to make her feel amazing, and you'll like it too. If you ask me, the Smooth Seduction Satin gift set, that is your ticket to a very nice winter season, if you know what I'm saying. Don't wait. Get it before it sells out. Go to pajamagram.com. Pajamagram.com. That's the Smooth Seduction Satin gift set at Pajamagram. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Immerse yourself in premium nationwide coverage, contract-free plans, and always free activation with Consumer Cellular, now at your local Target. While you're there, check out our newest phone, the Iris Flip. It's all the phone and camera you need, plus it features a user-friendly design, making it the perfect flip phone. From now to December 16th, you can score $10 off when you buy the Consumer Cellular Iris Flip at Target, making it only $39.99. Visit your nearest Target for the full scoop.
Pierce Jewelers is Carmel's full-service jewelry store where all watch repair, jewelry repair, appraisals, or custom design is done in-house. See them at piercejewelers.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, how things got bad for a couple people on Indy's roads this morning. Plus, Ryan Hedrick reports on a man shot on the east side and who Notre Dame has selected as their next school president. I'm Kurt Darling. That and more coming up from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
What's going on college campuses? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Jewish students say anti-Semitism.
He's going to tell the Democrat-led Senate Judiciary Committee.
That was Alexandria Hoff on the issue with the Senate, the testimony going on with Christopher Wray. That's coming up. But there is a couple of students, there are, speaking out about what's happening, including Talia Khan. She goes to MIT.
Faculty dismissing student concerns for their safety by telling them that if they are scared, they should just go back to Israel.
And as those students speak out, there's another pro-Palestinian protest going on outside the Capitol. As the presidents of Penn and MIT and Harvard testify at a House hearing, they say they reject anti-Semitism while trying to preserve free speech rights as Israel intensifies attacks on Hamas targets in southern Gaza. As the UN official says, the humanitarian situation is getting worse. Israel is ordering civilians to evacuate, but one already displaced Palestinian says they fled from a war of cannons to a war of starvation. An Israeli government spokesman, Avi Hyman, tells Fox Business,
"We're plowing on with a mission to destroy Hamas. As of Sunday, we had found 800 tunnel shafts and destroyed 500.
And the Wall Street Journal reports Israel is considering using seawater to flood those tunnels. Now to the FBI Director Christopher Wray testifying at the Senate now.
The threats the Bureau's 38,000 men and women tackle every day are more complex and evolving more quickly than ever before.
Especially ones inspired by the war in Gaza. So Wray says he's urging senators to reauthorize a key provision of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act set to expire at the end of the month.
The expiration of our 702 authorities would be devastating to the FBI's ability to protect Americans from those threats.
Some in Congress, though, are critical, saying that foreign surveillance sometimes infringes on U.S. citizens' rights. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A bad morning on Indy's roads. It's 40 degrees and cloudy on Monument Circle. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:02. First in Fishers, a crash involving a semi happened on northbound I-69 near 106th early this morning. That impacted traffic for several hours. Then later in the morning, near Raymond and Harding Streets on the southwest side, a person on a bike was hit and killed. The driver who hit that person stayed at the scene to talk with police. Some would-be thieves
were forced to retreat from a robbery on Tuesday morning. Ryan Hedrick explains.
It was a home on Indy's northeast side that was the target of a robbery, but what the men with the guns didn't know is that they were under surveillance, and all this was caught on a Ring doorbell cam, and what it showed was a homeowner coming to the defense of another homeowner. The robbers did shoot one property owner in the head. He's expected to make it. The cops are now looking for the men who jumped out of the car and wanted to commit this foiled robbery. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC, Mobile News.
The findings of a state police investigation into a shooting involving a Fort Wayne cop are now in the hands of prosecutors. Officer Mark Guzman is said to have shot and killed a woman while responding to an incident back in November. The woman is believed to have tried and run Guzman over while he was standing in front of her car. Father Robert Dowd will be the next president of the University of Notre Dame.
I am deeply honored and humbled by the board's decision. I'm also deeply humbled to be following in the footsteps of Father John.
He'll succeed Father John Jenkins at the end of the spring semester. They're moving on.
Field will dribble out the clock, and the Pacers are headed for Las Vegas.
Mark Boyle on the Elevance Health Radio Network as the Indiana Pacers beat the Boston Celtics 122-112 last night. They're moving on to the semifinals of the NBA in-season tournament. They'll face either Milwaukee or New York in Vegas on Thursday. I'm Kirk Darling on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Are your health insurance premiums making you sick? George and Megan at yourcoverage.net can help. George and Megan have helped countless individuals and families save 30 to 60% on health insurance with superior coverage. George recently saved a family of four $800 a month with the Aetna Network $0 deductible and $0 doctor office copay plan. This is not a government-sponsored health insurance plan. So if you're uninsured, recently lost your job, on COBRA, or are paying extremely high rates for Obamacare or your work coverage, George and Megan will help you if you meet the flexible guidelines for health insurance. Yourcoverage.net will provide you the best coverage at the lowest rate. Their goal is to give you peace of mind and the utmost in healthcare. Go to yourcoverage.net and see for yourself, or better yet, call George and Megan at 1-800-491-5500. That's 1-800-491-5500. Or go to yourcoverage.net. That's yourcoverage.net, a premium personalized healthcare plan managed and designed by you, not the government.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, December 5th, 5 minutes after 11 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So he was Time Magazine's Person of the Year last year. Vladimir Zelensky from the Ukraine. And guess what? He is set to address U.S. senators by video during a classified briefing. He's trying to pretty much ask Congress to approve billions of dollars in support for Ukraine. Give me money.
Isn't that the way it always is, Casey?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't this just the same old song and dance that we go through on it seems like, I don't know, monthly basis with this guy, where it's the poor pauper act with his hand out, and then he'll come also bark orders at us on how we're supposed to do everything. I mean, and then we just roll over and go, oh, thanks for telling us how to spend our money and how to run our government.
Isn't it interesting how things have changed, where he was, in the Capitol and his flags were being flown and standing applause, and everything's great with him. We love him so much, as he was addressing Congress, and now they're saying you can do it by video.
Well, he was the cause du jour, and this is what we do in this country, and we've done it for a very long time, where we just hop from what I call one cause du jour to the next, and that's the instant crisis, and that's where all the money should go. And if you question anything, then you're a bad person, and you're anti-American, and or you're anti-freedom, or you're a bad citizen, and your citizenship card should be immediately revoked. And then that goes on for a while, and people get tired of that, and then we just hop over to the next cause du jour. And so in this case, he had a good year and a half as cause du jour, and now Israel is cause du jour. And so good luck, Zelensky, because we don't actually care about you. Our politicians don't actually care about people. They care about placating what they believe is the most amount of people, and then they'll hop onto the next thing that placates the most amount of people because staying in office is the most important thing to them.
Okay, so the U.S. Secretary of State, the Defense Secretary, and other top national security officials are going to be speaking at this briefing, along with Vladimir Zelensky. Congress has already allocated $111 billion to assist Ukraine, but now the Biden administration wants another new package, and they're proposing another $61 billion.
Well, and the whole thing is laughable because they've never actually been our friend. Ukraine has never actually been our friend. They've never been a reliable ally. They've never been somebody that you would look at and say, oh, through thick and thin, Ukraine has stood with us, and we owe it to them because they've always been a reliable ally in whatever conflict we've been in. They didn't like us for a very, very long time. They probably really don't like us today. They're an incredibly corrupt country, and there's a better chance than not a lot of the stuff we've given them will end up in the hands of people who really, really, really don't like us, because that's how it works in this country.
Yeah, and you just have to be reminded, Zelensky has banned political opposition. He's arrested journalists. He's put Christian priests in jail. So as you said, not our friend. But I think the real turning point here is Lindsey Graham, who has been one of Ukraine's biggest and loudest cheerleaders, he's saying no more.
Now we've reached the end.
Now
we've reached the end.
So is this an indication that it's over?
Well, but okay, so let's work with that. Let's work off of that. It wasn't that long ago that Mitch McConnell came out in one of the press conferences he finished and said, Ukraine, that's no laughing matter, Casey. Ukraine is the most important thing to the Republicans in the Senate. Not you, not the veterans, not the border, not energy independence, not the economy. Ukraine is the most important thing to Senate Republicans, and we agreed. We chopped the legs off from the incoming House Republicans. It's become clear they wouldn't have done anything anyway, and they did that massive spending agreement at about this time last year because it gave all the money to Ukraine, and that was the most important. Everybody's dirty. It's just like everything else, Casey. Everybody's dirty on this. It's Dave Mason, right? / Billy Dean. There ain't no good guy. It's just you and me,
and we just disagree,
right? And in this case, they don't even disagree. Screwing you is the top priority of the vast majority of these elected officials, and benefiting the cause in order to benefit the cause du jour of the moment.
Yep. So this new package that they're proposing, $61 billion for Ukraine, $14 billion for border security.
Yes.
So to your point, their borders more important than our borders. And the Biden administration has come out and said that they've slowed the pace of some of the military assistance going over there. They're trying to stretch out the supplies until Congress approves further funding.
Isn't that always the way it works, Casey, where they're like,
oh, they can make it last. They can make it work.
If we run out of, on this such and such a day, we will run out of money. Oh, wait. Remember with the debt ceiling? It was what was it? They picked a date. It was June 1st. And then, I guess it's July 1st. Oh, but by July 15th, you're really going to start feeling the pain. I think we ought to just keep going and see how long they could actually extend it for before we feel any pain.
Let's really stretch it out. All right, but here's Lindsey Graham pretty much saying that he doesn't want to send more money over there.
So I will not vote for any aid until we secure our own border. Reform asylum, reform parole is possible to do. Democrats don't want to do it. All Republicans want to do it. I'm not helping Ukraine until we help ourselves.
So for a year and a half, it was cool to help Ukraine
without helping ourselves.
But now,
right.
And by the way, all Republicans do not want to secure the border, because if all Republicans wanted to secure the border, they would have secured the border when they had complete control of government from 2017 through 2018. And they didn't. They didn't because they don't. Republicans, for different reasons, are just as invested at chaos and mass illegal immigration as the Democrats are.
And it makes me wonder, though, is Lindsey Graham eyeing another country? And I'm not even talking about Israel. Is this like he knows something's coming with Iran that they're going to need to fund?
Well, don't threaten Lindsey Graham with a good time to give money for a giant military operation in a foreign land, because that will just make his week.
12 minutes after 11 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. And let's talk about the latest with Bud Light.
Oh, geez.
They have teamed up. Well, did you see the spot? Did you see the commercial?
I am so so sick of talking about Bud Light at this point, Casey. Like, I'm so sick.
You're just like, I just want to drink it.
What? No, I don't want to drink it.
Okay.
No, I don't want. I don't know. What I want is for. I mean, so Bud Light
Teaming up.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say they're now teaming up with Peyton Manning and Emmitt Smith.
Sure. So
it's a new commercial.
So this is what, and look, they're going to get away with it, and we've seen anecdotally and both in data, their sales are starting to tick up. So Bud Light decided to bow to the woke mob. They put a grown man who dresses up and pretends to be a little girl as their spokesperson. When they got called out on it, they doubled down on it, and they were really hateful and mean to people who said that's sick and gross and weird. And not because they actually feel bad about it, but because it actually affected the sales of their product. They are now essentially have bought their way out of the purgatory that they found themselves in, because they have spent $1 billion with UFC, the National Football League. You mentioned Peyton Manning, and we're going to let them get away with it because people, it appears, are buying the product again. And Bud Light made a calculated risk, and it paid off that short attention spans and apathy will always win out in this country.
Okay, so this campaign kicks off with a chance for you to go to the playoffs and the Super Bowl if you scan the QR codes that are on the cans. Of course, they're doing this right before the Super Bowl. But it's not been disclosed how much they paid Peyton Manning to get involved with this. But is he the guy that can save them, Peyton Manning?
Well, I don't think it's about an individual who can save them. I just think it's about when you have, unlimited resources, which the company who owns Bud Light does, you can just keep throwing money at something until it's ultimately fixed. And they've clearly targeted the National Football League and UFC for a reason. And that's good. It's good from a purely profit sales standpoint. That's good corrective action. The bigger issue is, though, you still have the same people who making choices who thought it was a good idea to have a grown man who very disgustingly pretends to be a little girl as your spokesperson, and then was super vengeful and mean when people took him to task on it. And they're only doing this now because it really hurt sales of the product.
Okay, so Bud Light now has this easy to drink, easy to enjoy platform. That's the new marketing push.
Kev, do you notice any difference between the light beers, although I'm sure you probably don't drink a lot of light beer? Do you notice any difference between these light beers?
I always feel bloated no matter what.
How about you? They're all the same to me. Like I don't drink one and think, oh my gosh, that's so much better. Do you notice a tangible difference between the light beers? Like, I must drink Bud Light because it tastes so much better.
No, I'm a stout drinker anyway, so I don't even go for the light beer.
Do you feel bloated even with a light beer?
Yeah. And also those beers like Bud Light and Michelob, those give me headaches.
I was going to say the same
and
thing.
It just makes me feel terrible.
Yeah. Now, are you talking about a draft or a can? Because I definitely get that with the draft.
Yeah.
I get from the keg.
I get that with a can and draft too as well.
I mean, I like the commercial, but at the same time, is it going to sway a whole lot of people to go back to Bud Light?
Well, it must be working. They're spending the money, so there must be some merit to what they're doing.
Well, they have to do something, right? They can't just continue to lose money year after year.
Yeah.
So it's 16 minutes after 11 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Americans think the American dream is dying. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
And it was announced last night on the Twitter. Something was leaked on Twitter that got a lot of people's attention. And we'll talk about that coming up from 93 WIBC.
Tony Katz.
I alphabetized my soundboard. Well, I'm sorry, you didn't hear that. F?
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, sir.
I have to go to S for Sopranos. Makes sense.
Yeah, I think you got it.
It's so clean now. It's fantastic. Yeah, we have clearly run out of things to talk about. There's nothing else going on in the world.
It's a great world, everything's so.
This show is stupid.
Tony Katz, mornings 6 to 9 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
If you're feeling called to something different in your life, there's never a bad time to find a new church home, or especially a first church home. And while all seasons are great, the Christmas season is especially, special. So this Sunday, if you are a person considering a new church home, or a first church home, please consider checking out my fabulous friends at Life Church. They would love the opportunity to meet and welcome you and your family this Sunday. You know Life Church. That's where a friend of the show, Pastor Micah Beckwith, preaches. And Life Church has campuses all across central Indiana, making it easy for you. Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton, in addition to awesome online services. Learn more about it all, lifechurchin.com.
Amber and Nigel here. When it comes to health, there are numbers every man needs to know, including your testosterone number. We recommend Low T Center. They make it quick and easy to get your levels checked, and it's only $25. Walk in, take a simple blood test, and you'll know results in about 25 minutes.
Low T can make you feel tired and grumpy. It can cause lack of motivation and drive. It can raise cholesterol, cause weight gain, loss of muscle mass. LowTCenter.com. Book online right now. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Well-changing question. Are you keeping as much of your investment gains as possible? High taxes can erode returns quickly, so you need a tax-optimized portfolio. At Creative Planning, our money managers and specialists work together to make sure your portfolio and wealth are managed in a tax-efficient manner. It's what you keep that really matters. Why not give your wealth a second look? Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Hey, you're up next.
My throat hurts so bad. There's no way I can sing tonight.
Here, try these.
Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Yeah, Vicks VapoCool Drops has maximum strength menthol with a rush of Vicks Vapors.
Ooh, I can already feel it.
I told you. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Vaporize sore throat pain fast with Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Life is a collection of moments that last forever, so make them matter and make them count with a symbol of everlasting love. A diamond from Pierce Jewelers. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
It's the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Over? Did you say over? Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no!
German? Forget it, he's rolling.
There was a girl I knew. 19 minutes after 11, it's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So the Wall Street Journal asked a lot of people whether they believe the American dream that you worked hard for still holds true.
It's kind of a broad question, isn't it?
Yeah. Only 36% said it does still hold true. And 18% said it never held true.
So what were the numbers again?
36 said it does hold true. 18% said it never did. 45% said not anymore.
Okay, so this is, again, the problem with the broad question is, what is the American dream? There is no definitive, what is the American dream? What is the American dream to you is different than me. I think it's irrefutable that it is markedly harder to live a quality existence and a secure existence than it was 20 years ago, much more so even than it was 10 years ago. And I think regular people, middle-class people, are finding it harder and harder to elevate themselves into more financial stability, more long-term financial security. And I think as a default, it's going to be harder to create an environment where your kids have a better life than you did.
Well, it's interesting you say that because they framed it as the American dream is that if you work hard, you'll get ahead and that your children will be better off than you are. And the people who said it's not true anymore, it's sitting at 45%. It's obviously a bigger portion than what it has been in years past. But the one demographic is women who were much more pessimistic about the state of the American dream than men. And you would guess this, but younger people also very pessimistic.
Well, we have gutted, we being the government, so society, have gutted the meaning of hard work. And hard work is a phrase now. It's not even a thing anymore. I mean, obviously some people work very hard, but there are many, many people who live quality existences who in some cases simply don't work at all. I mean, look at Indiana, let's just take Indiana as an example. The massive amount of people who are able-bodied people who are capable of working jobs that provide insurance of some sort at those jobs, who get state-subsidized insurance through the Healthy Indiana plan, HIP 2.0, massive expansion of Medicaid. And I know many, many people who, because they work the right kind of job where, hey, a whole bunch of my income I just conveniently don't have to report, or it's really hard to prove how many dollars I made this month. They are out. I mean, you see them on the street and you go, there's nothing wrong with this person. He certainly should be able to work a job that provides the necessary benefits, but they're on the taxpayer dole. It's not working hard anymore. It's being able to, in many ways, scheme and scam the system, and we are the suckers who pay for it, and we keep reelecting the same people who have set the system up. No, hard work is not a thing anymore, Casey. It's not a value that we hold as a society. It's not something we lift up. And we are a society now that rewards people who can figure out how to ride in a golf cart on a marathon.
So there was an Axios poll that came out, and it said that 61% of people in the Latino community do believe that if they work hard, they can achieve the American
What's the
dream.
number?
It is 61%.
Well, look at where many of them have come from, right? Look at the backgrounds of many of those people. And so that would make sense. Look, it is so hard to elevate yourself now. And you and I have had this conversation, and Kevin and I have had this conversation. Different, you guys are in different phases of life, and I'm kind of stuck in the middle between both of you. And you look at someone like Kevin, and so Kevin works a full-time job here. I'm going to guess, and I'm not prying into Kevin's financials, but by the time he pays his rent and he pays his electric bill and he pays his food bill and everything else, and Kev doesn't by any means live in a lavish, apartment of any sort or house of any sort, you're probably, while not stretched to the max, but you got to be pretty mindful of your dollars week in and week out.
Yeah, definitely, especially with groceries and all of that considered.
So if you're Kevin, so you work a full-time job, what's the other option if he's going to lift himself up? The option is, okay, I guess I could go work a second job, but how much are you actually going to lift yourself up? I will tell you, as someone who does work a second job, it's helpful, but I'm also at a different phase in my life than Kevin. I'm married and have a kid. Kevin still has some value placed on having a social existence of some sort. So if you're Kevin, you're doing things the right way. You're working your job. You're not living off government handout. Well, now, because of the terrible choices made by our government and what they've done as it relates to inflation, have a choice. I can either choose to have a social existence and be poor, or I can go make extra money and have no social existence. Boy, what a time to be alive,
right.
Casey.
Sounds like a whole lot of fun for him.
And now, and it's just not, I mean, I don't mean to cut you off here, but now put it on you, and you're in a different phase where you're looking at, not to say that you're, 1 foot on the grave, another foot on a banana peel, but you've talked about this before, where you're looking at, hey, what does retirement look like for me?
Yeah.
What does the future of my existence look like? And I'm going to guess it's somewhat of a stare into the abyss, even for a super wealthy person like you, because you're saying, look, no matter how much money you make, and your husband's an entrepreneur and he's in the middle of following something super interesting, but he doesn't know, you don't know, hey, how's that going to pan out? It could make him very wealthy, or you could be like, I guess a part-time job at Kroger is in my future. It's probably, whether you're Kevin or you, on opposite ends of the spectrum, a pretty freaking scary time to be alive.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Because and every day you have to consider what the stock market is doing if you have been invested for a long time.
Yeah.
Like I have.
Yeah.
Because you were counting on that, right?
That's why you got Bill Demmer, your retirement guy, right here in Indy.
That's right. It's 26 minutes after 11 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Now, Kevin and I were talking about this, and Kevin knew what I was talking about. I'm not sure you'll know.
Yeah.
The Grand Theft Auto 6, the next installment, wildly popular video game.
What do you think? I live under a rock?
Well, I don't think you play.
Oh, you didn't? Now, was your question, do I play, or was my question, do I know what it is?
Well, I'm sure you're aware of it, right?
I also don't play professional hockey, but I know who Wayne Gretzky is. I know, yes, Casey, I am old and outdated, but I am not, I wasn't around when they invented the the wheel. I mean, come on.
So you're probably not overly excited about this.
No, I
is
don't
what
care
I'm
at all.
saying. But Kevin, you're excited about this. You would play this video game, right?
Yeah, I played a few of the GTAs.
Mhm.
Do you play with strangers? Are you internet guy and you
No,
play with?
I always liked. So GTA for me wasn't much of like a multiplayer game.
Mhm.
I enjoyed the storylines and the maps, like the
Mhm.
very detailed open world maps.
So for those who don't know, who may be a little more seasoned than us, it's Grand Theft Auto. It is a game where you steal stuff, right?
Yeah, you can steal cars. You get guns, and the possibilities are endless.
So I'm totally out of date on. Well, I know what this is. When I was a kid, it was a big deal. Of hey, my friend Matt is going to come over and we're going to play Super Contra all day on Nintendo. You don't have to do that anymore, though, right? You can be in your house, and your buddy Tony can be in his house a half a country away, and you guys can play this game together.
Yeah, it's been that way for a while.
You don't need two controllers.
Nope, you don't have to be sitting on the same couch.
Yeah,
exactly.
And this is another example of cutting off human interaction. We talk about this with like artificial intelligence and stuff.
Yeah.
That used to be a huge deal. You and your friends would get together and sometimes you have tournaments and you'd get together and you just play Nintendo all day, but it involved actual freaking human interaction, Casey.
You're third place, right? So this video game, the sales are potentially going to smash all records. Billions of dollars are going to be spent on this. The trailer was leaked last night online.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to come out today at 9 a.m. It came out last night. The trailer alone got 32 million views in just the first few hours.
Okay, time out.
Yeah.
So in a movie, okay, the first one hit. Second one, okay, we're going to give it a shot. Usually by the time you get to the third of any movie, people are like, okay, this kind of jumped the shark here. We've kind of maybe milked this franchise for all it's worth.
Right.
This is on 6 and people still...
Well, the technology just keeps advancing over the years.
Doesn't it hit a point, though, where you're
the
like,
first
this
one
is
was
as far as it's
released
going to go?
With this GTA 6, they're returning to Vice City, which
Oh.
was an old map. It's based on Miami.
Ah.
So it's nostalgic for some people, too, I think.
Yeah, and the first one came out in 2013. A lot of people grew up playing these video games, and they revealed at the end of the trailer, which was a minute and a half, that it's supposed to be released in 2025.
Oh, so you got to wait a while.
So you still have to wait a while.
Kev, you strike me as the sort of person who is on, what's it called? Is it like Twitch? Is that the name of it? Where you watch
I don't
people?
go on Twitch. I don't do the streaming stuff.
You watch people play video games.
No,
I could
I
totally
don't do
see
that.
you doing that. You've probably done it too.
No, I haven't.
I've never done that, but I could see Casey doing
Yeah.
that.
Sure. Yeah. That's what I do. I spend that's how you got it.
Well, you like
It's
playing-
actually how I spend my free time, Rob.
You like
I
playing
do.
Mario Kart, and you probably enjoy watching the races.
I do like to play Mario Kart. You totally know. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Hey, Rob, I got a question for you, and I'm sure you're going to have a fantastic answer for me.
Oh, I always do, Casey. Go ahead.
Yeah, what do you think is a good rate on a return for a CD today? Something about 5%?
Yeah, and that's the highest it's been in a long time.
Well, your retirement guy, Bill Demery, he could do better. Instead of getting 5%, what if you could do a return that's averaged about 7% per year for the past 10 years?
Now, Casey, you know I'm but a product of the public education system, but that sounds like 40% better.
Yeah, it is. Plus, get this. You also get an immediate 13% bonus on your investment, and it's all backed by one of the largest insurers in the world.
A 13% bonus and a 7% average return. I should give Bill Demery a call.
Yeah, you should, and so should our listeners. Call him today, 317-932-9912.
This 13% bonus won't last.
Nope, so call him today, 317-932-9912. That's Bill Demery, your retirement guy, the number 317-932-9912. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Looking for the killer. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:30. State police say the investigation into a man found shot to death in a car is a difficult one.
We're not exactly sure if where we found the deceased man is exactly where the crime happened. So we have to expand our search a little bit beyond crime scene investigation.
Sergeant John Perrine says Luis Martinez of Noblesville was found dead in a van on I-65 on Sunday. The U.S. Air Force says the wreckage of a military aircraft has been found off the coast of Japan. A search team found the Osprey aircraft that crashed during a training exercise last week, along with the bodies of 5 missing crew members. Doug Burgum has suspended his presidential campaign. He is well back in the GOP polls. Former President Trump is still the solid frontrunner. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Don't you love fall in Indy, but hate the paint? Do what your neighbor Mark did. He called Rhino Shield.
It's a 2-story home built in 1992. Around 2001, looking at needing to paint, I heard a radio ad, with a Rhino Shield, you won't have to paint again for another 25 years.
And Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating, better than paint.
They're very professional. We had everything done. Everything that would typically be painted on a house was done, and it was very fast.
Our 25% off special is now extended through December, plus receive a free game console just by having Rhino Shield applied by spring of 2024.
It was done in 2001. From what I've seen on our home, they can easily offer a 25-year guarantee and not worry about it.
Remember, you have until the end of December to receive 25% off, plus get your job done by spring of 2024 and receive a free game console. Restrictions apply. Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Can you trust the government to protect you? We have political chaos, high inflation, global wars, no border protection, and our leadership telling you about pronouns in electric cars. It's time to take a hard look at protecting yourself and your family. It's time to call Oxford Gold Group. Whether you want to diversify against inflation or have gold on hand, you need to visit jessekellygold.com. Protect yourself with a visit to jessekellygold.com. That's jessekellygold.com.
Let Bill Estes put you behind the wheel of the powerhouse brands that define American toughness. Ford, Chevy, Ram, and GMC. Right now, save up to $15,000 off MSRP on Chevy trucks. Unleash the power of the road with Bill Estes Trucks. Find the location near you and see their inventory at BillEstesTrucks.com.
Prices include Costco membership rebate of $1,000. All rebates and incentives included in final discount. Stock numbers BCI 230444, BCJ 240066, BFB 230713. TRX Raptor and ZR2 models excluded from all offers. See dealer for details. Offer absolutely ends January 31st, 2024.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is 11:34 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois.
What a name.
Dick Durbin? What are you
laughing at, Casey?
I don't know.
That's his name. I just said, what a name.
You're right. That is his name. He was on the Senate floor, and he was arguing that illegal immigrants should have the opportunity to join the armed forces as a way to gain citizenship. And I think this is an absolute terrible idea.
Well, his theory is the enrollments are down so much.
Right.
Well, I wonder why, Casey, the enrollment in the U.S. military is down the way it is. I don't know. Could it be ads that cater at specific portions of the population that would probably make many people who want to go into the U.S. military absolutely, recoil? Could it be the fact that many of them have to take orders or listen to people who are men who pretend to be women? I don't know. Like, you have gutted, we talked about this recently. It is interesting now how the ads have gone back to more traditional Army, Marine type of ads for these geared towards the sort of people who would actually potentially really want to be in the Army or the Marines. After years and years and years of this woke political correctness must appeal to every person under the sun type of ad campaign.
Yeah, well, when they're spending more time on teaching you which pronouns to call your, senior officers and equity and inclusion than anything else, I mean, I'd be concerned to actually join for my safety.
Sure.
that they're not worried about the right thing.
Why would any person, and thank God there are people that still want to go out there and stand on the front lines, and thank you for your service, and thank you for all that you're willing to do. And the same thing is true for law enforcement. And I would ask this question about being a police officer. Given what you make, especially if you're a police officer in a major metropolitan city. Now, if you're on the Pittsburgh Police Department, you probably got a little bit better existence than IMPD. But given what you make and the risk and the stress and the way a huge portion of society views you and treats you, it's true for the police, it's true for the military. Why would you subject yourself to that?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you want to do that? Thankfully, there are people who are much less selfish than I am who are still willing to do it. But my goodness, we don't reward financially our members of the military. We treat them like complete garbage. You can make far more being a contractor than you can an actual member of the military. You're right, Casey. You're regularly put around people who are there because of their sex or their color of their skin or whatever else rather than their qualification. And those are the people who are responsible for keeping you alive. You are treated like complete garbage by about half of the populace and called a murderer, a baby killer, a colonizer, or whatever else. Why would you want to do that?
Why would you want to do it?
And this guy acts like the only answer is, well, we must let all the illegal immigrants come in and let them do it.
Well, and did you see the video of some of the people down at the border? They had a bunch of Chinese immigrants lined up. And I just think, okay, so yeah, they're going to come in, take all of our secrets, and then eventually use it against us.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crisis point. And I love the fact that when we talk about dealing with the border, they're trying to use border security, the Republicans are, as like some sort of requirement on funding for Ukraine and Israel.
Mm-hmm.
These things are not connected.
Right.
Solve the border, and then if there's any money left over, which newsflash, there's not. We're $33 trillion in debt.
34.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I didn't want to be seen as being
exaggerating.
Yeah,
no, it's 34.
$34 trillion in debt. Then give it to other countries. These things shouldn't be tied together. They do this all the time in Congress. These two things are not related. Israel and Ukraine have absolutely nothing to do with the border. Do your job. Secure this country.
All right. Well, here is Dick Durbin talking about this crazy idea.
What troubles me about the debate now about the southern border is it is one half of the immigration equation. Yes, we need order at the border. Yes, we need to have changes in the laws that reflect the reality of the overwhelming numbers from all over the world who are coming to our shores and our border. But there's also an incredible demand for legal immigration into this country even now. The presiding officer, my colleague from the state of Illinois, has legislation which addresses one aspect of that. Her bill, and I hope I describe it accurately, says that if you're an undocumented person in this country and you can pass the physical and the required test, background test, the like, you can serve in our military, and if you do it honorably, we will make you citizens of the United States. Do we need that? Do you know what the recruiting numbers are at the Army and the Navy and the Air Force? They can't reach their quotas each month. They can't find enough people to join our military forces. And there are those who are undocumented who want the chance to serve and risk their lives for this country. Should we give them the chance? I think we should.
Okay, 20 minutes in front of noon. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC, and there's a new article out at WIBC.com. Experts revealing the most distracting Christmas songs and also the most productive Christmas songs. You hear the music all the time everywhere. It's on the radio, it's in the grocery store, in the offices, and they're claiming that some songs actually will help you do tasks and some don't. And Kevin, you'll appreciate this. It's all based on the beats per minute, the BPMs. They say the songs that are paced a little slower, between 50 and 80, are good for productivity. However, the ones that are a little higher beats per minute, those are the ones that will make you be less less productive.
And the one that is most likely to make you take a giant pickaxe and jam it into your skull is that Mariah Carey.
Mariah Carey, of course. Actually, she's kind of more into the distracting because she's
kidding,
at about
Casey,
150 beats per minute.
Mm-hmm.
But the entire list of the top 10 most distracting Christmas songs and the best holiday Christmas songs for productivity are on WIBC.com.
All right.
Now.
Yeah, when we come back, you got a letter.
Yeah.
A very important letter. And there's so much with this letter we've got to dissect from one of your biggest fans.
We'll do our best. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Baby, let's go slowly in this store.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, who profited off of Hamas's attack on Israel? That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros. We recently saved a 50-year-old couple over $300 per month when compared to their old individual plan. We recently saved a family of 4 over $400 per month when compared to their quote on healthcare.gov. We are now entering the crazy enrollment season when our federal government will spend millions telling us that healthcare.gov is our only good option for quality healthcare. Whether it's called healthcare.gov, Affordable Care Act, or it's still Obamacare, don't let the federal government or their big insurance company cronies tell you that you don't have a choice. Give us a call at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. That's 317-563-0868 or rragency.org. If you don't call us, we can't help you. Quoting the great Dr. Duke Tomato, Lord, please help our cults. And as always, God bless America, or at least what's left of her.
Hi, this is Denny Smith, and it's hard to believe that the holidays are upon us, but starting real soon, family and friends are going to be stopping by to share some quality time at your house. Are you ready? Zero Res will clean 3 rooms of carpet starting at $139, plus a free hallway and $50 off air duct cleaning too. That's the best Zero Res deal of the year, and the whole family will see how your carpets and floors are clean and fresh thanks to Zero Res. The Zero Res service is easy to line up, and you can go online at ZeroResIndy.com to do the scheduling at your convenience. And don't forget the ZR Water difference. No soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals, leaving things really clean. Now mention WIBC and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $139 plus a free hallway, and you'll get $50 off air duct cleaning too. That's right, air duct cleaning, and it'll help you improve the air quality in your home, help you reduce energy costs, and help you just breathe easier. Call 317-388-5141 or online at ZeroResIndy.com.
Hey, it's Rob. I started losing hair around my crown, and my hairline was starting to recede. I went to We Grow Hair Indy, and they helped grow my hair back. My friend Dave First, a sports broadcaster for over 20 years, also struggled with hair loss. Dave, what happened?
My thinning hair was bothering me. For me, I'm in the public eye. I'm a dad also, and I want to look and feel my best. And if I'm going to do something about my hair, I want to go with the best. We Grow Hair Indy. They really set the standard.
Dave, that's amazing. I had the same procedure, multi-unit hair grafting transplants, which gives you more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Call 317-522-2995 for your free hair and scalp evaluation. Find out if hair transplants or PRP is right for you.
If you're thinking about this, don't waste your time or money. Go to the experts.
Call 317-522-2995, 522-2995, or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com, the gold standard for hair restoration.
The always ready for breakfast deal.
Going to bed already? Yep. Breakfast at Mickey D's tomorrow. So, sooner I go to bed, sooner it'll be morning. Sooner I'll be at Mickey D's.
This is actually brilliant.
You can come too. Turn out that light.
Good mornings become great mornings when you have McDonald's breakfast. Now grab a sausage McMuffin, sausage biscuit, or hash browns and get another for $1. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Valid for product of equal or lesser value.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Is your Generac home standby generator ready for the next outage? Are you overdue for annual maintenance? Schedule an inspection today with Generator Supercenter and ensure your Generac generator is ready when you need it most. GeneratorSupercenter.com.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
The latest local news, commentary from Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey,
5.6%.
Hammer and Nigel, podcasts. Listen to the station live whenever, wherever, online at WIBC.com.
Everybody let it rock. Everybody in old Santa Claus was dancing to the
93 WIBC. It is the Kendall and Casey show. I'm Rob Casey. Sir, what are you doing?
We got some mail, and it's from our friend James over at the, where's he at? He's at the Indiana Department of Correction.
In Plainfield.
In Plainfield. He's
beautiful
at the facility
Plainfield.
over there. So he sent a really nice card. It says, there is so much beauty in the simple moments and everyday things. There is so much beauty in you.
Oh.
And then he wrote...
And it's not to us, it's to you.
Well, your name was on it, too.
But let's face it, it says you.
You're right.
James has made very clear, I am not the one that he has eyes for, Casey.
You're right. It does say the Kendall and Casey show to Ms. Casey Daniels. So, yeah. I saw your name, so I thought he included you, but really he didn't. He blew you off.
And that's fine. Everybody has their favorites, and with most people, you are the favorite, and I'm okay with that.
He says, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, blessed, healthy, happy, cheerful New Year to you all. That includes you.
Oh, thank you.
But especially the voice of an angel, which is me.
Now we should clarify, for those who may be new listeners, James has been very open about his past. He's done some things that has put him at the correctional facility there in Plainfield, but he is working to get his life back on track and leave that place a more productive member of society, and we are part of what gets him by on a daily basis. He is a regular listener to the program. He's gone through how he listens each day, and you are really the apple of his eye, Casey.
He spent a lot of time today writing about football players.
Oh.
He says that, he's talking about Terry Bradshaw, who won 4 Super Bowls, and he's talking about Tom Brady, but I think he also has a problem with Tom Brady because he says Tom Brady's a cheater, a fraud, and other words that I can't mention on the radio.
Oh, boy. Now, here is my question, and maybe somebody in the prison system, or maybe James, the next time he corresponds with us, could let us know. This is a handwritten note, and the curiosity that I have on this is, I would assume, and this is dangerous to do, somebody has to proof the mail coming in and out of the prison. Like, not that James would ever do this, but if he were to be conspiring with another offender of some sort on the outside, like somebody would want to read, like, that James is not revealing, intricate information, schematics of the prison to help him break out or something. So does somebody review these letters?
I don't think so.
What?
No, he gets to write whatever he wants to write.
Well, I'm not disputing that he can't write whatever he wants to write, but somebody has to be reviewing to know that consortium of known rule breakers, both inward and outward, is not harming society, right?
I don't know. No, I don't think anybody's proofreading his letter. He's writing what he wants to write. But
so if you work in the prison system, if you could at Rob M. Kendall on Twitter, at Casey Daniels 317, or call the hotline 317-684-8444, or James, and then when next time you write, which we always look forward to, if you could let us know if someone is monitoring the prison correspondence.
I do know what is on James's mind.
Oh.
He says, by the way, I have a new nickname.
Oh.
It's VOAA.
Voice of
an angel.
An angel. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's his interpretation.
Voya.
Something like
You've
that.
gone from a voyeur to a voyeur.
He says that on a future day, he would like to soak my feet in warm salt water and then massage them for 6 hours.
Wow.
He would also like to rake my leaves.
Oh, wow.
Clean my gutters.
Time out. Is that literally he would like to come over to your house and?
That's what he said. Now he says he wants to straight up rake my leaves, unless that's a euphemism for something else.
I didn't know if that was. Now here is unfortunately for James. Casey lives in what we like to call a high rise. Her house has several stories to it, like 9, but it goes straight up, and she lives in one of those
stairs.
ritzy developments where everything is monitored by some sort of overbearing HOA president, would be my guess.
He actually lives next door.
Oh, really?
Yes, he
Is he
does.
the guy that yelled at you about your grass having a hole in it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
I don't
He's
think
right next door.
I don't think they allow trees in your development there, right? Or do they allow? Do you have a tree?
Yeah,
No,
there's trees.
You have a tree?
Yeah, there's a tree in our front yard.
Really?
In our postage stamp front yard. Yeah. But can I go back to James for a
Yes,
second?
absolutely.
He says that he wants to wash and wax my car, whatever I need done.
Wow.
I like the sounds of that, but there's a thing here. So I'm sure James, being where he is, he doesn't have, a high-end stationery or even lined paper that he has complete access to.
Which is an honor that he chooses to put so much effort into listening to and writing the show.
Yeah, on whatever sort of paper he can find. And he actually wrote this letter on what looks to be some correctional facility forms, some different papers. He did have that card. But then he included this.
Oh. What is that?
And that looks to be like something on his wish list.
Oh.
Some magazine subscriptions, perhaps?
These women appear to be rather scantily clad.
Yes. Cheeks, spice, babes. I can't. Thick.
Now, why was this?
That's about all I can read of the titles.
Why was this in? Now, are these videos? Are these magazine subscriptions? I didn't even know they still had adult in the internet era. I did not know there even were still adult magazines available for purchase. I thought everything was online these days.
You can make your own bundle of magazines. It's a pretty good deal. 7 for $70, 8 for $80, or 9 for $90.
Is there? So this was sent to you.
Yes,
is there a
it
note
was.
on why this was sent to you?
I think he said that this is what he's asking for Christmas.
Oh, okay. Well,
these magazines.
Well, so again, this is sort of like the magazine industry for the adult world. It's
He
sort of
filled it out already for us.
Oh, we already put his name down there and everything.
Yes, he filled it out. Like, just send them the money.
See, what else do we have here? No, I don't want to touch it. Thank you.
I know.
You've already done that. So it's like I wonder if with magazines it's like film, where there's still a few people out there in the world who depend upon who enjoy film over digital, and so they'll still have the cameras from the 1980s. Our producer Jason is that way. He's very into photography. He recently bought an older camera that you use the physical film to develop. And if someone were to be incarcerated, I'm gathering they don't have, say, a laptop computer at their disposal. So this would make sense that he would need a physical magazine to enjoy the displays found there within.
Yes. Beach Bunnies is another one of these magazines. Satin Angels.
I love that he filled it out for us.
He filled it out like he's thinking that I'm going to what? But James, we need to have a conversation. I can appreciate that you have needs, and based on where you are, you cannot have them fulfilled. I am not buying these magazines for you.
Well, that's disappointing.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. You're going to have to ask somebody else. Barking up the wrong tree on this one.
But she would still like you to come over and rake the leaves and wash her car.
Now that we can talk about. All right. Are you ready to get out of here?
I can't.
On that note,
Casey, I've never been more ready to get out of here.
I have to go wash my hands. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Have a great day. We'll catch you back here tomorrow.
Have you saved enough? Do you have a plan for Social Security and taxes in retirement? Hey, Casey Weed of Howard Bailey Financial, where our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we want to give you our Retire with Purpose toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you can't outlive. Plus, you'll receive a copy of my book, Job Optional. To get your complimentary toolkit, call or text the keyword info 42 to 866-482-9559. That's info 42 to 866-482-9559.
Howard Bailey Financial is the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Winter may seem like a strange time to replace the windows in your house, but with Window Nation, today is the perfect time. And right now, Window Nation is offering you 50% off all window styles. Plus, you could even get 0% interest for 5 years. With new energy-efficient windows from Window Nation, you'll start saving money instantly on your heating bills and get rid of those annoying cold drafts that are letting your heat out. And in the summer, they'll keep that cool AC in, so you'll save money all year long.
Plus, Window Nation's professional installation means your windows will fit right in your home, treated with care. And with 50% off all style of windows and 0 interest for 5 years, it's time to give Window Nation a look today. Let Window Nation show you all the options to fit your needs and your budget. All you got to do is